from the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. This is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's currently 6:56 in the evening. I'm Fred Gossage here, along with Ben Luna and Kelly Rawson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with another update on the severe weather situation. We had that first lead supercell that produced that large tornado that's moved out of the viewing area, and we've had a severe thunderstorm warning for the backside is moving out from Marshall County, Tennessee. That cleared out. However, we have a couple of additional developing supercells that aren't warned yet, but they're starting to look suspicious on radar, and we're starting to get some reports of lowering. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to take the Lawrence County, Tennessee storm first, and then move up to the Murray and Marshall County, Tennessee storm. Neither of these have tornado warnings, but this is a situation that could ramp up quickly. And after what happened in Murray and Marshall, we need to be on our toes. This is Lawrence County, Tennessee. You see the rain-free base and the appendage here on the back side. Let's just look at our live radar and see if we're attenuated or not. Nope. Okay, so you have the curl and the reflectivity pattern. Your overall rain-free base is coming over Leoma and Dunn now. On the south side of the bypass here, this will be near and just to the south of the college here on Highway 64. This is moving off to the northeast. They've been about 30, 35, 40 miles an hour. We'll go to the live velocity and see what things look like. And everything's broad and weak at the moment, so we'll go to HTX velocity and storm relative and see what that looks like, because that's going to be looking a little lower. And we do have some circulation. Now, it has it in a slightly different place, but it still generally matches up. There is a rotating storm here just south of Lawrenceburg proper. We'll call Leoma and Dunn over toward Gum Springs Crossroads, up into the east side of Lawrenceburg and New Prospect. So let's back out the radar zoom just a little bit. We're going to do a storm track from this. Now let's go ahead and click the skip, because I think the skip's got it pretty well here. We'll take these times of arrival. Again, this is not a tornado warning. This doesn't even yet have a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is ramping up quickly in the same environment that produced a large tornado in Murray and Marshall counties earlier. Gum Springs, 659. New Prospect, 704. Pleasant Valley, 713. Bodenham over there into western Giles County, 713. Liberty Hill, 717. Campbellsville, Tennessee, 721. Riversburg and downtown Pulaski, if this continues to ramp up. Time of arrival for the rotation, not the high wind, heavy rain and hail ahead of it, but for the rotation, 724 will be your arrival time. We will have to watch this carefully. Severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings could be required if this continues to ramp up. So we'll clear this off. We'll go to the storm up in the southeast Murray County next, because it looks suspicious as well. You may have to click the skit. There we go. All right. We have another one here over the Bryant Station area. This is not the storm from earlier. This is a new developing supercell here crossing out of Murray County, Tennessee into north central areas of Marshall County, Tennessee. There's not a tornado warning on this, but that's an intensifying rotation here near Bryant Station. We'll go to the live velocity on here and see what it looks like, since we're not attenuated yet. And there is a circulation over Bryant Station in the lower levels as well. And that's going to be moving up here into central and northern parts of Marshall County, Tennessee. So we'll go back. Well, let's click this skit here, because I think it has good time of arrival. This is time of arrival for this supercell that's ramping up its rotation. Berlin, it's over you now. Osland at 705. Lillard Mills, 706. Ames, 707. Caney Springs, 709. Laws Hill, 710. Willow Mills. And they are going to issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for this with the tornado possible tag because of the developing rotation. They're going to hold off tornado warning until it gets a little more organized, but a new severe thunderstorm warning is coming. Willow Mills, 713. Clay Hill, 714. The Thick Community at 715. Chapel Hill, 715. Holt's Corner, 720. Beasley, 722. Union Hill, 723. And Anchor Mill at 726. Again, a new severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag will be coming for central and northern Marshall County in Tennessee here in just a moment.
Fred, we've got that live on Storm Tracker if you want.
Okay, let's take links 3. This is the Tennessee Valley Storm Tracker. This is Who do we have in the field today?
Brian.
Okay, this is our Brian Wilson. He is headed northward up toward this storm, and we clear the trees and the bushes and the rattle moccasins out there and the cicadas and the copperheads. You want to see everything. Okay, a new severe thunderstorm warning for eastern areas of Murray County and central North Marshall County.
There's your wall cloud.
Here's our wall cloud. So we're going to have to watch this carefully again while we watch this. Again, this is our meteorologist, Brian Wilson, live chasing in the field. The storm headed into Marshall County. Here's the new severe thunderstorm warning for it. New severe thunderstorm warning, central Marshall County, middle Tennessee, southeast Murray County in Tennessee. It also includes southern Rutherford County in Tennessee and Bedford County, Tennessee, outside of a viewing area. This is until 7:45. At 7 o'clock, a severe thunderstorm was located near Lewisburg. It's just a little northwest of there. It's what we've been tracking. It's moving off to the east-northeast, 30 miles per hour. For now, quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds are the main risk. However, we see that broad rotation that's been trying to intensify. It's the same kind of thunderstorm as the one earlier in the same kind of environment. And now that we're getting closer to sunset here the next hour or so, our low-level wind shear is actually going to be increasing because we're going to start increasing that low-level jet. So we're going to have to watch this storm and the eastern Lawrence County storm very carefully. I don't need you in tornado shelter for either of those storms just yet. I just need you to remain in a high state of alertness in case we do have to have a tornado warning. This is our live Skycam on the Arctic Air Skycam network from the water tank in front of Walmart. Should be looking back southeastward, okay, toward the storm in eastern areas of Lawrence County. You see an overall lowering here, but we're having to look through rain and things like that. We're not going to see anything clearly just yet, but we're going to have to watch both of these storms very carefully. Get a new severe thunderstorm warning for far southeast Murray County, Tennessee, central Marshall County, Tennessee, until 7:45. And then we're watching this one just to the south and the east of Lawrenceburg. Not warned, but we'll watch it carefully. Kelly Rawson on the team is in the Weather Center. She has some viewer video from a little bit earlier from that large violent tornado that we had in the Murray County. Kelly, I'll let you get ready to show that on Links 1.
Okay, let me make sure my microphone is on, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead and pop over to Links 1. This was, again, that storm earlier in Columbia, or just east of Columbia. This is actually Interstate 65 at exit 46. So, very high traffic area, and you can see there what pretty much is that tornado that worked through the eastern portion of Columbia. And again, we saw it on radar and velocity and correlation coefficient cross Interstate 65. And so that's the viewpoint right there. Thank you so much to Tyler Panel for sending that to us safely. I hope you are safe and away from any sort of danger with that tornado. But just watching that loop over and over again, and what quite ominous. I mean, it's just...
Real quick, I've just received word from the Murray County school system. Schools will be closed tomorrow in light of the tragedy that has struck Murray County this evening.
All right. Thank you guys, Ben and Kelly. So I know you guys are working on more pictures and video and that kind of thing, and we'll have that just as soon as you have that ready, unless we pop in tornado warnings. But that's that first storm that produced that large, potentially violent tornado there over east central areas of Murray County, Tennessee, and the northern areas of Marshall County, Tennessee. There were earlier, we had Jeff Hardy, the EMA director, live on air with us as it was still on the ground, confirming injuries, entrapment, and major damage in eastern Murray County. After that, there were some unconfirmed reports of a mass casualty situation in Murray County. The EMA director later, that was not reported by us, that was out there in the internet world. You know how that works. The EMA later confirmed that was not the case yet at this time, but they are still unsure of the full scope of what they have in Murray County. So the initial reports of mass casualty that you may have heard on the internet, as far as we know right now from the EMA, is confirmed as not the case at this time, but they are still assessing. They're still in the middle of damage work, and they're still in the middle of search and rescue from that large higher end looking tornado that came through eastern Murray and northern Marshall counties a little bit earlier this afternoon. So we'll go back to Viper Live Doppler radar on links 2. And again, we have these two broad, suspicious rotating thunderstorms. Of the two, I think the first one that might have the initial chance of going tornado warning is this storm north of Lewisburg approaching the Farmington area in Marshall County, but we're going to have to watch the one down here in New Prospect in eastern parts of Lawrence County, Tennessee as well to see if it ramps up. Again, this environment is explosive. We've had temperatures up into the 80s today. We've had dew points into the 70s. We've had moderate wind shear to rotate the thunderstorms, but now as we get the sun to set the next hour or so, that low level wind shear is starting to get stronger, and I think that may flip the switch now that we have additional individual supercells developing. But no tornado warnings right now. But if one of the two is going to go, I think the first one would be this Marshall County storm here. So we'll zoom in closer on it and see what the radar looks like at this time. Again, just a severe thunderstorm warning, but still be inside away from windows and be near your tornado safety spot so that if this is upgraded to tornado warning, you can shelter down in a moment's notice, because we've already seen what this day is capable of. And listen, I've been doing this for a while, and I've been through some really big tornado events, and I've also grown up watching the best of the best down in central Alabama. I've also worked with the best of the best down in central Alabama, and they've taught me that the first storm of the day will often tell you a story. What it does gives you an idea of what the environment is capable of, and the first storm we had in our viewing area this afternoon produced a large wedge violent tornado with major damage, injuries, and entrapment. So from here going forward, until we get everything lined up and rolled over to heavy rain towards sunrise, we're going to have to take every single thunderstorm we have seriously the rest of the evening and the overnight and early morning. I don't say that to scare you. I don't say that to alarm you, because the last thing I want to do is have you scared, because if you're scared, you panic, and if you panic, you don't make right decisions. And making the right decision on a night like tonight is critical, because seconds go by in a heartbeat in big tornado situations, and you making the incorrect decision can cost you your life when we're dealing with large tornadoes. So I'm not saying any of this to scare you. I'm saying this to bring you the gravity of the situation, that we're going to have to carefully watch every storm tonight, because now we know what they're fully capable of. And what we had in Murray County earlier may not be the only one similar to that. Kelly is on links 1. If you want to take that for the storm tracks, are you about to post that? Do that, and I'll talk over this.
We have a tornado warning.
All right, they're upgrading the tornado.
Marshall.
Yep, okay. So they are upgrading now. So this is the time where we're going to need you to implement your shelter plan. New tornado warning here coming for central areas of Marshall County, and also includes portions of Bedford and Rutherford out of our viewing area. While Kelly, you do that post, whatever you need to do, we can hold radar here, and okay. So you can get your post. Here's the red polygon. That's the new tornado warning. I'll read the warning to buy you some time. New tornado warning in effect for central Marshall County and Middle Tennessee, south central Rutherford County and Middle Tennessee, and northwest Bedford County and Middle Tennessee until 7:45. At 7:08, just a moment ago, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Lewisburg, and that's a generalization in their software. It's actually north of Lewisburg by a few miles, just east of the Berlin area, just north of Farmington, just west of Laws Hill. That's where it is on radar, and this is a live radar scanning from Lawrenceburg. It's moving off to the east-northeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. For right now, it's just radar indicated rotation, but we know what this is capable of. So here's your rotation, your brand new tornado warning. The polygon goes as far south as Lewisburg, and you will hear siren sound through Marshall County. The tornado most likely is going to stay north of downtown Lewisburg. I think the highest danger is from Berlin to Farmington, north through Laws Hill, as far northwest as Caney Spring, and then as far north as Chapel Hill. So if you live on that alternate 31 stretch from Chapel Hill down to Lewisburg, that's the stretch here where that's going to cross and needed to go through your tornado safety plans. And don't wait. We've already seen what today is capable of. This doesn't look like that kind of circulation yet, but we saw how fast things ramped up in Murray County earlier. A basement or an underground storm shelter or a certified reinforced above ground shelter is best. But if you don't have that, you're still okay. Don't panic because you don't have that, and don't think it's hopeless because you don't have that. Just go to a small interior room in a site-built structure, not a mobile home, a site-built type home. Something is built on site, on a slab, on a foundation, something like that. Go to a small interior room on the lowest floor near the middle of the building, down low. It's usually a bathroom, a hallway, or a closet. Carry pillows and blankets with you. Whatever sturdy thing you have, bicycle helmets, football helmets, batting helmets, ballistic helmets, construction hard hats, a metal cooking pot, not just for the kids, for everybody in the family. Carry that with you to protect your head and neck from flying debris. Crouch down low in that shelter location. Try to get under something sturdy and protect your head and neck from flying debris. We have had injuries earlier today. You need to take this seriously, and you don't need to wait, because things can go from radar indicated tornado to a half-mile wide tornado on the ground with quickness. It did in Murray County. We had nothing on the ground in downtown Columbia, and just a couple miles east we had a wedge that developed on the ground within seconds. So this is fast developing stuff. So don't wait until you see something outside, you hear something outside. Go through your safety plan now. Again, those 745 in our viewing area, Central Marshall County, Tennessee, a tornado warning. It goes as far south as Lewisburg proper, but I think the danger is north of there. But it's a course of least regret. As far south as Lewisburg, as far north as Caney Spring and Chapel Hill, including Berlin for a few more minutes, including Laws Hill, including Farmington. Be going through your tornado safety plan now until we get this storm on out of the way. So we have a heavy thunderstorm advisory for Lauderdale County, Alabama. That is a step below a severe thunderstorm warning. That means that storm is not severe, but it may be capable of some gusty winds, 30, 40 miles per hour, in addition to small hail. Just mentioning that so you're aware, but the storm's not severe. I can't get away from the tornado warning for a storm that's not severe, but I am going to let you know and make you aware of that. We are still watching the storm on the Lawrence-Giles County line out near New Prospect and Bodenham, still showing broad low-level rotation, but it doesn't have a severe thunderstorm warning, a tornado warning at this time. Kelly, what you got? I'm going to let you talk.
I just wanted to say that you're exactly correct. It's now crossed. The main portion of upper-level broad rotation has crossed out of New Prospect and is now overhead the Bodenham area of Giles County, and then continuing to move northeastward. So it looks like the concerning part of the storm, that storm particularly, is out crossed the Lawrence County line. And that's not to say that more's not on the way, because, of course, we still have a long night to go.
Yes, we do. These storms this evening are not the main event. You know, if you watched our forecast for the past few days, we've talked about the main event coming after 10 or 11 o'clock into the early morning hours of Thursday, and that's still true. There's going to be a line of thunderstorms coming in late tonight and early tomorrow morning that will have some widespread wind damage possible, 50, 60, 70, 75 miles an hour possible. It will also be capable of some tornadoes embedded within it. It will also be capable of some hail and some flash flooding. But if you've been watching those forecasts for the past few days, while we have said that the main threats during the overnight, we've also said that isolated severe storms would be possible as early as the afternoon because of a supercell type threat like this. It was really uncertain. It wasn't a guarantee, but it's been that possibility. And then once we got to midday today, the models really started ramping up on it becoming more likely. And if you watched Kelly at Midday Live, she hit that home pretty heavily, and then we started pushing that on social media more that, hey, you have to start watching as early as the afternoon and early evening, not for the main threat, but for these individual supercells. That's what this is. This is not the main line late tonight. That still comes through after midnight on through about 5, 6, 7 o'clock. But between now and about midnight, we'll have to watch for these individual supercells that are developing in this unstable environment with strengthening wind shear, and these type thunderstorms could be the ones that have the potential for the larger type tornadoes like we've seen up in Murray and Marshall counties earlier. But again, tornado warning here. The circulation is crossing 31 alternate just north of the middle part of Farmington, very close to Laws Hill. So we'll switch on to storm relative velocity with this particular next rad. And it's a broad circulation at this time. It hasn't really tightened up either on the live radar or this one, but it can do that. You saw how quick the switch flipped east of Columbia earlier, but that circulation is going to be crossing out of Marshall County and out of our viewing area probably within the next 10 minutes. And then we'll be watching that storm down to the southwest down the line. So I'll let you pan down there, Kelly. We'll look at eastern areas of Lawrence County, western Giles County, and I'll let you take. It's probably going to be the high top radar. It's going to be a little closer, but that circulation looks like it's near Bodenham. So that's now moved out of Lawrence County, Tennessee, and into western Giles County. We'll zoom in a little tighter here, and let's see what that velocity looks like. And we have some semblance of a rotation there over the Bodenham area. Again, there's not even a severe thunderstorm warning for it. And I understand that the storm hasn't wrapped up just enough yet. But if you remember, we were watching the Columbia storm well back near Clifton, Tennessee. We first got the severe thunderstorm warning when it was over northern Wayne County. It actually developed all the way back in Hardin County, Tennessee. Wasn't severe then, but that's where it developed, and it looked just like this on radar from Hardin County, Tennessee to about Clifton and Wayne County before it ramped up. So just because it's not severe warned or tornado warned yet, doesn't mean this thing won't continue to try to ramp up here over the next several minutes. So Kelly, if you could reach back over and click that skit, we'll do some times of arrival for the heaviest weather, and then I'll let you do whatever you're doing.
Oops.
Oh, it positioned it more correctly with the rotation. That's actually good. It knew what I needed to do. Okay, so for that rotation, it's funny how these computers work sometimes. So for this rotation, here are the approximate arrival times for that developing rotation. Riversburg, 7:29. It's over Bodenham now. Olivet, 7:32. Powell Chapel, 7:35. Oddfellows Hall, 7:39. Happy Hill and Linville, 7:41. Friendship, 7:42. Brick Church, 7:44. Blue Creek, 7:45, as well as Beach Hill, 7:45. Bivens, 7:46. Ben, I know you have some stuff coming up just a second. I want to look at Marshall County one more time, and then we're going to go right to you with what you have going on.
All the storms going up now are pretty much starting to rotate, at least at the mid-level. So I think after we hit this tornado warning, if we could hit the other cells and then go to his stuff.
Okay, so we'll clear this right here, and we'll go up to the tornado warning storm in eastern Marshall County. It's about to be out of the viewing area, and then we'll start looking at our other storms. But that's wrapping up on the high top radar, but that's east of Laws Hill now and moving out of Marshall County. But we'll still do a storm track. We'll click the orange skit, and downstream of here are some times of arrival. And really, it looks like we only have Anchor Mill showing up. That's a time of arrival of 7:32. It's staying to the north of Shelbyville, Tennessee. It's staying to the south of Unionville. That's moving out of Marshall County, Tennessee, and becoming no longer a threat to Marshall County. So with that being the case, we're going to come back off of this. Kelly, I'm going to let you drive radar and talk about these other storms that you see now.
Okay, so I'm going to stay on Huntsville's radar, and
That just dropped to severe on that storm for Giles and Marshall.
The one west of Pulaski, I bet.
Yep.
Okay.
Kelly, I'll let you continue to talk while
Okay.
you have it right there.
Okay, so we are just going to be having that severe thunderstorm warning, that yellow polygon pop up here within the matter of seconds, and there it is. So that's for the storm that we've been watching. And like Fred has been saying, we've been seeing some broad mid-level rotation with this, but nothing too concerning at this time. That's why I'm sure the National Weather Service went with a severe thunderstorm warning, which is the right move at this time. I'm going to go ahead and click on the reflectivity for this storm. And what I'm seeing is a lot of lightning, some very high reflectivity values, so maybe some hail on the north side of Pulaski near the Olivet area, along Highway 31, anywhere between Pulaski and Linville. If you're planning to travel either direction, wait it out. In fact, hopefully you're just home for the night, because this is not going to be the last storm of the night. We are seeing, again, just high reflectivity, a lot of lightning, some wind gusts, certainly up to maybe 60 miles an hour with this storm. And of course, continuing to watch the broad rotation. Here's storm relative velocity. Again, not really seeing anything too concerning on high tops radar. Even in the mid-levels, this is looking about 6,100 feet up. So that's, again, mid-level, but not really seeing anything too concerning. I'll go ahead and switch to Nashville's radar, and that's a little bit tighter in the mid-levels for sure. That's looking about 5,600 feet up.
We say suspicious but not alarming just
So
yet.
that's, yes, exactly. Suspicious but not alarming. Again, that's why we're keeping an eye on it, why they've flagged it at least as a severe thunderstorm for right now. So if you are in central Giles County, again, this rotation is looking to pass north of the heart of Pulaski, Tennessee, but you folks are still in the severe thunderstorm warning. But the, again, mid-level rotation that we're seeing looks to pass north of downtown Pulaski, more towards the Olivet area of Giles County. And we will continue to watch this storm. And like I told Fred just a few minutes ago, any of these storms that are starting to form are starting to rotate in the mid-levels, which again is something we expected, but unfortunately just hate to see come to fruition. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit. This storm just north of Lexington coming into Minor Hill. Again, not looking great, but
Take high top for that to be a good bit closer.
I'll go
Sorry
ahead
about
and
that.
switch to high top. And again, nothing concerning, but the broad low-level rotation certainly possible. And there's another storm east of Florence and Muscle Shoals, just south of Killen. Again, nothing too concerning at this time, but like I said, we have broad mid-level rotation with all of these storms going up, and like Fred has said, what we've seen with east of Columbia, all it takes is a matter of seconds for these storms to drop a tornado and do some serious damage. So again, nothing to be alarmed. Again, these storms coming into southern portions of Lawrence County, heading towards the Minor Hill area, not warned at this time. We're keeping an eye, as well as the eastern Colbert storm. We are watching it, but again, nothing too concerning at this time. The severe thunderstorm warning that we have, again, for the central and northern portions of Marshall County, that center of rotation has now crossed into the next county over, and then we do have this new severe thunderstorm warning for central and northern Giles County.
All right, Kelly, so since we have the rotation out of Marshall County, now that tornado threat from that storm is ended in Marshall County, so we can exit off the board. So with that case, and we've tracked the other storms, we're going to switch over to meteorologist Ben Luna. He's going to talk about some of the video that he has queued up from the earlier large tornado that we had to go through Murray County.
All right, so if you watched us earlier, we had the actual tornado forming. If you would take me to links 3, please. Yep, there you go. And so immediately we had wonderful viewers after the threat had passed to get out and to send us what pictures they could. And I'm just kind of sitting here in awe of what I'm seeing. These are from various parts. I don't have the exact location, but what you're looking at, this is just a few moments ago of damage in Murray County. A lot of trees down. There's a lot of structure damage. If you look in the distance of this picture on the hill, the structure, I assume it's a home, looks like it's got quite a bit of roof damage. You've got snapped trees. You've got debris in all directions. So, I mean, obviously we know this was a confirmed tornado. But it's just absolutely incredible to see these images come across in near real time. This is a multi-county response to Murray County. I know a several first responders from Lawrence County have deployed to Murray. You have neighboring communities, and again, this is an opportunity for neighbors to come together and help neighbors. But to stress what we said earlier, please do not go sightsee. Please do not get out and try to go to these places, because that's just going to amplify the situation. Fred, if you would, and Kelly, I've got possibly a report coming in from the scene. So,
okay. All right, so for the moment, we'll take radar until Ben has whatever information with that he has. And again, the warning that prompted the tornado warning here for Marshall County is now out of the viewing area. So the northernmost tornado warning and severe thunderstorm warning we can X off the map. Thunderstorms are going, so the supercell event is ramping up now. The supercell threat is becoming more widespread across the area. The next storm we're going to have to watch carefully. It's not a tornado warning, but it has some mid-level rotation. It's just north of Pulaski. That is a severe thunderstorm warning for north central areas of Giles and southern Marshall. What you got, Ben?
Okay, so real quick, my friend Derek, who is assistant fire chief in this county, he is on the scene in Murray. He reports that the damage path of the tornado at its peak looks to be half a mile to a mile wide. He indicates that people are getting out and they're sightseeing. And I told him, I said, look, I'll put you on live to talk about this. He said, no. He said, I don't want to say anything, off, that I don't need to. He said,
we do off cuff around
well,
here.
I know. He said, Ben, stress on everything that we've got for people to please stay off the road in Murray County. Please, for the love of peace, stay off the road. He said it's a parking lot, and first responders are having serious issues getting to people who are trapped and who are injured because Joe Blow wants to go look at tornado damage and the sun's about to set anyway. So,
and look, some of the reason people may be out there, I understand if you're worried about relatives or property or you're wanting to help, let these trained people go into this disaster zone and rescue the people whose lives are in danger. There are people injured out there right now that may need immediate medical attention to save their life. And if you're slowing down the first responders, you might possibly cause some blood may be on your hands because you might possibly cause somebody to be killed because of that. So stay away from the damaged areas. Let first responders cover this. If you have friends or family, relatives in these damaged areas, you've tried to get a hold of them, you can't get through. Oftentimes, we've learned in these tornado disasters, and I worked April 27th, 2011 with JP Dice and Wes Wyatt down in Birmingham at WBRC Fox 6, so I'm versed in this. When we have these tornado disaster areas, a lot of times a phone call won't go through because of the degree of the damage, and also the cell networks get jammed in these really big damage areas. But if you can sneak a text, because it's such low file size compared to trying to get a call or video through, you might be able to sneak a text in, whereas you can't get a full call through. But if you haven't heard from a relative or a friend and you can't get through, don't panic because cell networks are jammed. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're in danger or that they're hurt. They may just not be able to get through back to you yet. Take a deep breath, calm, don't panic. Let first responders save the people that need help, and then we'll work through everything else as a community later. And if you're wanting to help the community and volunteer, that is great, and there will be a time for that. Let these first responders get in there and see the degree of damage and rescue the people that need to be rescued. And then in the days to follow, there will be times where volunteers will be needed to help and volunteer and get the community back going. But stay out of these areas tonight. Let these first responders save the lives of the people in danger. What you got, Kelly?
We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning coming and it looks like it was just issued for Giles, Lawrence, Marshall.
Okay.
I'm not sure how the Marshall fits into it, but it's for that southern storm near Minor Hill.
Okay, so we're going to wait for the polygon.
That's going to go until 8:15.
Okay. Okay, I see what they're doing as well. They coordinated with Huntsville NWS for Huntsville to do Lincoln County, and then their polygon agreeing with that goes all the way in the far southern areas of Marshall. So our next storm over Minor Hill now has a severe thunderstorm warning. I know in the bottom left corner you see Marshall County, Tennessee still in red. That's because Weather Service is just, they're not canceling polygons as fast as they would on a slower day, because that's less important than them being eyeballs on the radar and making sure that they get the warnings downstream fast enough. That's a lower priority than getting the warnings fast enough. So they just haven't removed that tornado warning from Marshall County yet. That threat's well on to the east, so you can scratch that red county off the board. The two warnings we have that are still a concern are for the storm over Minor Hill. Severe thunderstorm warning just been issued that goes back in the far southeastern areas of Lawrence County, almost as far west as Tennessee 98, but focusing here over Minor Hill, and then the storm north of Pulaski here. These two severe thunderstorms, let's see, the new warning goes until...
Should be 8:15.
Okay, so we have 7:45 for the north one, right?
Yes.
And then 8:15
8 o'clock for this one.
Okay, 8 o'clock for the one north of Pulaski and 8:15 for the one to the south. We'll flip on storm relative velocity, make sure these aren't trying to wrap up, because it's that type of environment. And we still see a broad rotation here to the north of Pulaski. So I'm going to let you fangle around in the background, Ben. If we have the capability of taking one of our Pulaski cameras and pointing it north, do we have that capability?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, there are towers in the way, unfortunately.
Okay.
And hills.
Okay, so we do have a circulation with a northern storm on the north side of Pulaski. So I'll tell you what, I will step over here while Kelly's doing her social media, and I will zoom in and we'll get some details here on the northern storm, and then we'll focus on the second one in just a minute. We have our broad rotation here just to the north of downtown Pulaski. That's moving off to the east-northeast. We'll do a storm track on this, and you notice the bright red arrow, that's a TVS or tornado vortex signature. Doesn't mean there's a tornado there, but that means that the radar is starting to pick up trouble. Here are the times of arrival. Oddfellows Hall, 7:41. Friendship, 7:43. Brick Church, 7:44. Beach Hill, 7:46. Blue Creek, 7:47. Cornersville, 7:55, Ebenezer, 7:57, Jerusalem, 7:57, and Estella, 7:57. Again, severe thunderstorm warning here for the central part of Giles County, Tennessee, and for southern Marshall County, Tennessee, till 8 o'clock. And then the second storm down the line that's coming out of eastern and southeastern Lawrence County, Tennessee. I know the polygon still goes back to almost Bonnertown and Fall River, but the threat is shifting over into Giles County. The storm is over Minor Hill. That's on Tennessee Highway 11. So I'll flip back to reflectivity. And the higher probability of hail is up northeast of Minor Hill now, near the Oak Grove and Stella areas, approaching Aspen Hill and Crescent View. So we will take a storm track of that from the leading edge of the storm. And again, this is not for the rotation. This is for the hail and high wind ahead of the rotation. 7:40, Aspen Hill, Crescent View, 7:42. Amittown, 7:48. And I'll let you take over now, Kelly. Amittown, 7:48. Bunker Hill at 7:53. Wheelerton, 7:56. Step back in frame here. Beach Hill, 7:57. Frank Ewing, 7:58. And Delrose at 7:59. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for that southern half of Giles County, Tennessee, that goes until 8:15. It still extends back into Lawrence County, far southeast corner, but that's now moving out of Lawrence County, and we can take Lawrence County off the board from that severe thunderstorm warning. There are other thunderstorms developing over southern middle Tennessee and northwest Alabama, including one near the Rogersville area we'll have to watch as well. I'll let Kelly zoom in on that one and maybe go to GWX. It may be a little bit closer and see what it looks like. And that may be a baby supercell as well. It has that curl to it in the pattern, so we'll look at reflectivity. There's not a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning with this one, but this is another one we'll have to watch. This is in eastern Lauderdale County, Alabama. And there is some rotation in the radar beam here to the southwest of Elgin. That's Alabama Highway 101 from Elgin down to the Wheeler Dam. You have the Catfish restaurants there on the corner. On the curve, you know where those two are. That's going to be crossing across that area south of Elgin, and then coming up from Rogersville up Highway 207 up toward the Anderson area. Up there, you know, we have the Fish Creole restaurant. Big Boy knows his catfish places too, not just chicken. But those are our landmarks. You know where they are, so if I call them out, you know where the storm is. That's our broad rotation. We'll have to watch carefully. That's coming up to the northeast at about 35 miles an hour. We'll click the skit, get some times of arrival for that rotation. And again, it's not a tornado warning. It's not even severe thunderstorm warning, but it's another one of these developing supercells we'll have to watch carefully. Elgin 740, Kingtown 745, Whitehead 748, Lauderdale County High School 750, Rogersville 750, Anderson 756, Cedar Grove 758, Cherry Grove and Powell at 801. Or 8 o'clock, it updated there. Ridge Mill, 802. Good Springs, 803. And Cairo, and those are starting to get over into northwest Limestone County. Time of arrival, 804. Again, that's a developing storm. We will have to watch very carefully, but it's not severe as of yet. So we'll go to reflect. We'll clear that off and click the skit to do it. And then we'll go to reflectivity, and we'll just hit the DMA view and just look at everything overall. While we don't have an active tornado warning in the viewing area with the storm moving out anymore, and you just see these scattered popcorn supercell thunderstorms here that stretch from southwest of Moulton up to near Leeton, to near Rogersville, up to Minor Hill, up to about Linville and just east of there. And the storm we had near Rogersville has just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. So the far northern part of Lawrence County, Alabama, western Limestone County, Alabama, and eastern Lauderdale County, Alabama, that's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that's coming across the wire from the National Weather Service in Huntsville. Let me get to their latest messages in chat because we haven't been focusing in Alabama too much. That goes until 8:15. We just gave the track information. That storm I was talking about near Elgin, near Rogersville, near the Catfish restaurants and moving northeast up toward Anderson. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll zoom into that polygon here, but you can see the supercells developing. And this is not that main threat. This is the supercells out ahead of that line that we're having to watch. And these are the ones that have the higher tornado threat. Again, storm is over Elgin to Rogersville, moving off to the northeast. And we'll center a little more in Limestone County so we can see these communities in the polygon. See, we have Cedar Grove to Coxie, Cairo's in the warning, Hickory Hills is in the warning, Cartwright, Gypsy, Legtown, Elkmont up to Leicester, and Mount Roselle in Limestone County. You're in the new severe thunderstorm warning. And then over here in eastern Lauderdale County, we have Vista Shores and Ferry Shores, Rogersville, Elgin, Kingtown, Anderson, Lexington, and Grassy. In that part of the severe thunderstorm warning, that goes until 8:15. None of these are showing strong low-level rotation, but they are ramping up in intensity. They have some broad mid-level rotation, and we saw what happened earlier this afternoon. Now, Ben, I say you have regional radar. I'm going to let you talk about what you have over there if you have some things to talk about.
Real quick, take me to 3. And what I've got, I've pulled up the radar network, and this is the composite of all NexRad sites around the country. We have our outbreak of supercells that's underway in southern Middle Tennessee and now northwest Alabama. But notice this feature back out over northwest Arkansas, portions of eastern Oklahoma, and then you also have this activity. I've just been looking at the HER model, which is, in my opinion, I think everybody here has handled this event probably the best. This is your main feature that is starting to ramp up and starting to form. We've got to get this guy over us before this is done. And the latest HER data puts that here about 2 or 3 a.m. So this is nowhere near done, unfortunately. And to echo what everybody said, I think we're just going to be one after another until we get to that point.
Yep. And this is what we have now through the next probably 3-4 hours is the main tornado threat versus that stuff later. But this is not the final main round, as you explained very well. We have multiple rounds of severe storms coming that will last all the way through near that daybreak time frame. So we have a long way to go. Tornado watches in Middle Tennessee till 9 p.m. will be extended deeper into the overnight. Tornado watch in North Alabama until 11 will be extended deeper into the overnight. But Kelly, I'll let you take your links there, and we'll if you have anything to add or anything you need to point out, I'll let you do that as well.
Well, I'll just say, along with the rotation that we keep talking about, we keep getting hail reports too of sometimes inch and a half size hailstones. So again, that's a threat. It's maybe not the highest end hail threat that we've ever seen, but it's still certainly something. If you have your car parked outside and not in shelter, now would be a good time to move it into shelter, if so possible, and if so to do safely. You don't have to go drive somewhere else because hopefully you're hunkered down for the night.
Right, and we've already seen hail to golf ball size hail to golf ball size with that lead storm this afternoon, and that's going to be just as much of a thing into the late evening with these supercells. But again, and then we have another one down here with the hook echo near Leeton that we'll have to watch. It's not severe warning, but that could be coming. It has some very weak broad rotation. We're just in this environment now where the wind shear is ramping up, the atmosphere is unstable, and now that lid, that cap on the atmosphere is being broken. So now these storms are starting to go, they're starting to intensify, and they have a favorable environment for being supercells. We'll go back to HTX here, and we'll just look at our storms up the line. We've handled the severe warning in Alabama. We'll go back to the one in Minor Hill, and then we'll continue to work northward. And storm has come up through Minor Hill. Now we'll go back to storm relative velocity and look at what the rotation looks like. And there's some broad rotation here. Southeast of Minor Hill coming up on the Stella area. It's not especially tight, but if that tries to tighten up, tornado warning could be required for Giles County, especially the southern half. So if you're watching me in southern Giles County, I do need you to be aware of what's going on. I need you within a moment's notice of being in tornado shelter. Don't be several minutes from the location of your tornado shelter. You may have to act quickly, but that rotation is near Stella. It's going to be coming up toward the Prospect area, Aspen Hill, down here toward Elton, probably staying a little north of Ardmore, then up toward Wheelerton and Bunker Hill, Aspen Hill, and as far north as Oak Grove and Crescent View. Need to watch this carefully. But even north of there, all the way up to Crescent View and Ammotown and the south side of Pulaski and Bunker Hill, you need to watch out for hail that could be ping pong to golf ball size hail and maybe some 60-mile-per-hour winds. For the rotation, we'll do that skit right there to get some times of arrival for where we do have the rotating part of the thunderstorm. It's not a tornado warning, but that could change if it ramps up. Aspen Hill 750, Poplar Hill 753, Tarpley 754, Elkton 8 o'clock, Dixon Town 801, Morrill Mill 802, Bryson and Pisgah 803, Bunker Hill 803, Ball at 804, Wheelerton 805, Bradshaw 807, Millville 808, Woodrow at 808, and Frank Ewing also at 808. So that's the storm south of Pulaski. We'll clear that off, go to reflectivity, and look at the one that's been tracking northeast of Pulaski that also has a severe thunderstorm warning with it, and it's had some broad rotation. It's not as organized with the broad rotation. It's still there for sure, but that's coming up on the Beach Hill area and the Brick Church area. We'll take reflectivity here, and then let's see. Yeah, we have some large hail falling near the Brick Church area more than likely, coming up on the Estella area and coming up on Petersburg. And that severe thunderstorm warning does extend up into the southern parts of Marshall County, Tennessee. So Cornersville all the way up to Lewisburg. Be aware of this thunderstorm. It is past Pulaski. It is past Olivet. It is past Linville. It's past that US 31 corridor, and it's moving off to the east-northeast. For the leading edge of the rotation, we're going to take that pink skit and get some times of arrival here. Brick Church 745, Ebenezer 758, Estella 758, Luna and Brown Shop 807, Blakeville 810, Orrs 812, Belfast 813. Again, that's the leading edge of a broad rotation. We'll have to watch carefully. It's not a tornado warning, but given what we've had today and the environment we're in, we'll have to watch this very carefully. But ahead of those times, large hail, quarter ping pong golf ball size, and some 60-mile-per-hour winds. Definitely possible. All right, we got a new tornado warning in northwest Alabama now for Lauderdale and Limestone, it looks like. And Ben, you have the rotation. I'll let you take links 3 and call out those towns.
Okay, actually, Sam is actually at that scene, and he indicates that there is a rotating wall cloud at Elgin. You're looking at the...
Links 3.
There we go.
Sorry, we were switching to your links.
You're cool. So we've got a now tornado warned storm for Lauderdale and Limestone counties. This new tornado warning is going to be in effect until 8:15 tonight. You have the area of concern that has just passed over Highway 72 near Elgin Crossroads. This is proceeding to the east-northeast, 30 miles an hour. Folks downrange from this, including the Whitehead community at 749, Anderson at 758, Cedar Grove at 8 o'clock. We have Cherry Grove at 8:03, Ridgeway Mill at 8:05, Good Springs at 8:06, Cairo at 8:08, and continuing this line down to Lester at 8:13, as that will approach the northwest corner of Limestone County, should this hold together, and more than likely it will. We've seen quite a bit of lightning ramp up in these storms. Fred, right before they dropped a tornado warning on this, downrange from this cell, this is what I was actually looking at.
And there's a new severe with that.
Yeah, they just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Tornado possible with that one in Colbert.
Okay. So what you're going to see, unfortunately, from this, because now we're tracking 2 storms. One is tornado warned. The other one just had a severe thunderstorm warning with tornado warning with a tornado possible tag. These are going to follow. These are going to train in the same location. And so you've got to now be in your safe place times 2 for those of you who are in East Lauderdale and Northwest Limestone, because after this first cell passes, we've got the second storm that's trying to ramp up back in Lawrence County, Alabama.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And this is just the beginning of this threat really ramping up with the supercell situation. So we'll stay on your links, and I'll let you drive that radar while Kelly's doing social media at the moment, Ben. We'll go back to our tornado warning here and zoom in a little bit tighter. And again, tornado warning for eastern parts of Lauderdale County and northwestern parts of Limestone County. What's the expiration time on that one more time? I'm sorry. Till 8:15. The rotation is coming right up on Rogersville right now, and we have had reports of a wall cloud that's crossing US 72 out just west of Rogersville and very near there. It's going to be crossing 207 near or just to the north of Rogersville, coming up toward the Cedar Grove area, as far north as Whitehead, Anderson, the Fish Krill restaurant on 207. I need you in shelter. They have the tornado warning all the way up toward Grassy and Powell, but I don't think it's going to make it that far northwest unless it takes more of a left-hand, sharper north turn. I think it's coming over here towards Cedar Grove, Cairo, up to the Mount Roselle area, but that's our new tornado warning until 8:15 for eastern parts of Lauderdale County, Alabama, and western parts of Limestone County, Alabama. Again, like where we've had our other tornado warnings, this is what you need to do. You need to be going through that tornado safety plan now. If you have a basement or a storm shelter, get there now. But if you don't, it's okay. Don't let that frighten you. Don't think it's hopeless. Take a deep breath. Go to a small interior room of a site-built structure. That's not a mobile home. That's something that's built onto a foundation at its location, not built somewhere else and then brought and put together. That type of home. Small interior room, lowest floor near the center, away from windows. So if you're on the second story, you go down to the first. You go toward the middle of the building in the smallest room without windows. Cover your head and neck from flying debris. Try to get under something sturdy if you can. Usually this type of room I'm talking about is a bathroom or a hallway or a closet in that part of the house. And then very importantly, you cannot stay in mobile homes. You cannot stay in vehicles of any kind during tornado situations. That's going to be crossing 207 just north of Rogersville over the next few minutes. And then it's going to be moving up here toward Cairo and Cedar Grove, up here crossing Alabama 99 that runs from Cartwright back over to Anderson. It's going to be crossing 99 northwest of Cartwright, moving up toward the Legtown area, staying just to the west of Elkmont unless it makes a right turn. And then the tornado warning does include Lester, does include Powell as the course of least regret. They've got it all the way back to Lexington, but I do think the threat's going to be off to the west of there. That's the tornado warning. We have a low-level lock, a low-level shear marker up in southern Giles County, not too far from Stella. So we're going to see what that looks like with a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll zoom in tighter there, and you do see a little bit of a hook in the reflectivity. So, yeah, we have an improving low-level rotation here near Stella and Prospect, moving toward Prospect and Elton in Wheelerton. So even though there's not currently a tornado warning yet, there could be one within the next minute or two. And out of respect for the environment we have over us, and out of respect for what's already happened in this environment, despite this only being a severe thunderstorm warning, I'm going to urge you to go ahead and go through your tornado plan in southern Giles County, from Stella to Prospect to Elton, as far south as Ardmore is the course of least regret.
National Weather Service is now issuing a
tornado warning for Giles.
Yes.
Okay, so here's our new tornado warning. Need you to go through your safety plan. Yeah, Ben, that skit right there has it perfectly for times of arrival. This is a new tornado warning coming for southern parts of Giles County, and it looks like it may possibly also eclipse the far southern part of Marshall County in Tennessee, but I do think it's mainly going to be Giles County, Tennessee over the Lincoln County, Tennessee, and that velocity is strengthening quickly.
Yes,
that may be our next significant tornado.
I was about to say that is in a matter of a couple of minutes. That is really amplified quick.
That may be our next strong tornado. So look, times of arrival here: Prospect 754, Poplar Hill 708, Elkton 804, Dixontown 805, Morrill Mills 806, Bryson 808, Ball at 808, Bunker Hill 809, Wheelerton 810, Cash Point 812, Millville 813, Woodrow 814, Delrose 814, Frank Ewing 815, and Blanche at 8715. The BTI, the Barron Tornado Index, now up to a 5.8, and the shear is up to 80.6 miles per hour. So this is a strengthening rotation, and given what we know about the environment, this could be our next significant tornado developing in southern Giles County. So if you live south of Pulaski, south of Frank Ewing, I need you in your shelter immediately. That's not that storm.
No.
It's the one north of there.
Yeah.
I'm going to maintain what we just said for south of Pulaski, but let's go up to the next one. I need you in your tornado safety plans in southern Giles County. You see the circulation, but we have another tornadic storm up here north of Frank Ewing. So let's look at that. That one has a tightening circulation. These supercells are starting to ramp up and things are happening quickly. So let's get tighter on the circulation up near the Beach Hill area that has the tornado warning on it. We thought that the tornado warning was for the southern part of the county. It's actually this thing near Beach Hill, and looking at it, it's the right call. That's east of Friendship near Beach Hill. It's just crossing over I-65 right now. It's going to be moving up into that southern part of Marshall County, out of northeast Giles County here over the next 10 minutes, up toward the Ebenezer area, up toward the Delina area. I would say up toward Cornersville and Lewisburg. Watch this one carefully. We'll back out the radar view and see where our polygon goes. Yeah, tornado warning polygon goes as far north as Cornersville, Tennessee, and as far north as Lewisburg. Out of respect for everything, I would say as far north as that, go ahead and go through your tornado safety plans. Ben, I'm going to let you look at radar for just a moment and talk what you need to. I'm going to get in contact with NWS and see what they think about Southern Giles on HTX.
Yeah. I've got it pulled up over here for you to do, or you've got it over there. We have 3 storms that we are primarily concerned about right now that are affecting our viewing area. The first cell is what Fred has just been talking about, and that's out toward Beach Hill off I-65 in Giles County. The second is this quick ramping up rotation that's actually showing probably a little bit better of a couplet or the convergence and rotation of wind in southern Giles County, right near downtown Stella and Prospect. So if you're in that area, folks, you need to be in your safe place. This extends out through Aspen Hill and on out toward I-65 to the south of Frank Ewing. That's going to be just to the north of Ardmore. And then another tornado warned storm, I take it back, we have 4 that we're watching, is going to be just north of Rogersville. Our own Sam Camp is on that particular cell at this point. He indicates still a rotating wall cloud from the best he can see, as this area of rotation is now crossing over downtown Rogersville toward the Romey community, heading towards Cedar Grove at the Lauderdale-Limestone County line. Folks in that area, specifically Cedar Grove and then Cairo, you need to be in your safe place. Now, I mentioned we have 4. The other cell that we're watching is to the north of Town Creek, near Lennon Hill, Alabama. That's on Highway 101. The area that is rotating is now crossing Highway 101 just south of Lennon Hill, just north of Town Creek. That too, if you notice, all 4 of these storms are kind of training in the same line with each other. And given their movement, we're going to have more of that activity develop. So, all right. So anyway, real quick, if you are just now joining us, this is the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. I encourage you, if you have a smartphone, if you've not done so, download our app, courtesy of QuickMart. You can get that live by simply searching for TN Valley Weather, and I do not like what I see there at all.
That is Lynx.
That is Lynx 1. Fred, are you sending that to Nashville? All right, so real quick, what we've got, multiple tornado warnings in effect. We have a tornado warning in effect for northeastern Giles County. That includes the northern portion of Lincoln County and southern portions of Marshall County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for southern Giles County, although I think that might be upgraded momentarily. Okay, so now we have 2 tornado warnings for Giles County, in addition to an active tornado warning in eastern Lauderdale County. Are we looking at a potential?
That's a potentially significant tornado. I'm waiting to see what they say about this possibly being debris. They have just pulled the tornado warning on it. That
You've got it on camera?
coefficient lines up with the higher reflectivity and the velocity.
Tornado on the ground. Tornado on the ground.
Okay.
Elton, this is Brian. Hold on. Yeah. All right, I got your feed.
All right, so we're going to take.
Okay, all right, bye.
When you get that ready, let us know. We'll take that. We have a tornado on the ground.
Brian confirms tornado on the ground.
Okay, so we have a tornado on the ground coming out of Prospect, Tennessee, and approaching Elton, Tennessee. That's apparently a debris signature that you have on radar. That's why we were calling. That rotation was ramping up even before the tornado warning. They are acknowledging that we have a tornado on the ground now, so they've seen our reports. Yeah, NWS Nashville has acknowledged. So this is a tornado on the ground coming out of Prospect, Tennessee, approaching Elton. So if you are watching us from Ardmore up US 31, crossing I-65 near the Ardmore exit. I just had it muted. We were having to communicate earlier. All right, so here's the situation we have. Tornado is on the ground between Prospect and Elton, Tennessee. We have it confirmed via debris on radar. We have it confirmed via Brian Wilson out in the field. Tornado on the ground approaching Elton, Tennessee. So if you're watching us from Ardmore up through Elton and then north of Highway 31, I'll say as far north as the traffic light where it intersects with the bypass, be in shelter now. This is potentially a significant tornado on the ground. This looks like how the Murray County one was ramping up earlier. We'll go to storm relative velocity. We will have to bounce back between multiple storms. We're not going to focus on just one. But we'll bounce back and forth between multiple storms here. But this is a tornado on the ground approaching Elton, Tennessee. This is an urgent and serious situation that we have. There's your velocity couplet right there. Kelly, when you get a second, can you click the orange skit, and then we'll do some times of arrival here. And then we'll start bouncing back and forth between these multiple storms. Because we're starting to get into outbreak mode now, because multiple supercells are going tornado warned. Some of them are actually starting to produce tornado warnings again. Here, so we have a tornado on the ground coming out of Prospect approaching Elton, Tennessee.
Okay, Fred, what did you need me to do?
I need you to click the skit, please, so that I can get times of arrival. Again, this is a tornado confirmed. This is not just possible anymore. This is a tornado confirmed. Poplar Hill, 801. Elkton, 808. Don't wait till 808. Shelter now. Shelter now. Shelter now. There's a tornado on the ground headed for Elkton, Tennessee. Dixon Town, 809. Morrill Mill, 810. Bryson and Ball, 812. Wheelerton, 814. Cash Point, 816. Millville, 818. Delrose, 819. Blanche, 821. West Cyruston, 825. Taft, 825. Taylortown, 829. That's the situation with the tornado on the ground approaching Elkton. We'll clear this off. We'll go back to the storm to the north that prompted the first tornado warning, and then we'll go back to Alabama. We have the circulation here that's crossed out of Giles County. It's clipping Lincoln County, Tennessee, and moving northeast up toward Petersburg. So let's center us to where we can do a manual track. And I would say carry us a little hair sharper northeast than the skit. Skit's doing it fine now, so we'll take that. And that's time of arrival for that potential tornado right there. See, Blakeville, 811, Brown Shop, 811, Bidwell, 817, Petersburg, 817, Howell, 819, Bledsoe, 824, Belleville, 825, Mimosa, 829. We'll clear that and hit correlation coefficient and see if we have anything there, and not anything that lines up. So we'll hit the skit one more time and clear that off. So this one's still radar indicated, but this is still a tornado warning coming out of northern Giles County in far northwest Lincoln County, Tennessee, and then skirting southern areas of Petersburg, as far north as Ostella, as far north as Cornersville, Petersburg, Brown Shop, up to Lewisburg South. Be in shelter. And then we have the other one in southern Giles County on the ground headed for Elkton. Let me hit Alabama right fast, and then we'll come back to this one here. We have another tornado warning. We go to storm relative velocity. We'll work the severe thunderstorm warnings when we can, but the tornado warnings are more urgent. Tornadic circulation here over Cedar Grove. This is crossing out of Lauderdale County into Limestone County. So let's do a track here.
Do you want to just take the skit?
Yeah, that looks to be right based on what we've seen. Let's see. Okay, Cairo at 808, Mount Roselle 812, Hickory Hills 813, Gypsy 815, Cartwright 817, Legtown 820, Gordesville 821, Hayes Mill and Elkmont 827, Piney Chapel and Prospect 831. That's the situation coming out of Lauderdale County into western Limestone County. That's a tornado warning there. There are other severe thunderstorm warnings for eastern Colbert County, north central Lawrence County, and northwest Morgan County for rotating supercells. We have one just south of Ferry Shores, northeast of Town Creek in Lawrence County, Alabama, that will be coming up here toward Vista Shores, and then coming up in the western Limestone County. That may get a tornado warning in any minute. Another one over here near Cleveland Springs, north of Moulton, the severe thunderstorm warning, that's coming up toward Hillsboro, Fish Pond, Flower Hill, the nuclear plant, or near there, but they're fortified, so don't let that scare you hearing that. And then Lawson, if that holds together, Tanner and Athens, severe thunderstorm warnings for these may go tornado warned soon. We'll move back up to the Elkton storm, where we've had a tornado that is on the ground, confirmed with debris in the air a moment ago, and Brian had it as well. Let's hold here over Elkton, go to reflectivity. All right, so south of there, let's go back Correlate. Okay, we still have a debris signature on radar south of Elton, south of the proper part of Elton. If you're there at the caution light, you go down south, you're going to be running into this tornado. That's going to be crossing Highway 31 out here.
It's on a beeline right toward Elton Methodist Church.
Yeah. Elton Methodist Church is going to be crossing the Duck River Bridge. Out here, it's going to be crossing 31 between Elton proper and Ardmore. It's going to be crossing I-65 very close or just to the north, but close enough of that.
We have a new tornado warning coming down from Huntsville for Lauderdale, Lawrence, and Limestone.
Okay. That's for that one that was near Vista Shores. So we have tornado crossing US 31, I-65 near the Ardmore exit or a hair north of there. That's going to be coming out into Lincoln County and out of our viewing area over the next few minutes, but that is on the ground. We'll go back to our next tornado warning that's come out near the Vista Shores area. It's this circulation here that's to the northeast of Town Creek. Let's do a manual storm track on this. A little closer to the couplet, but the same trajectory at 35. This will be moving closer to Coxey, Alabama. Now we'll get some times of arrival here. There we go. All right, for the new tornado warning, this is far northern Lawrence County, Alabama, southeast Lauderdale County, Alabama, and more of Limestone County, Alabama, including Blackburn, Ripley, and the west side of Athens. Here are times of arrival. Ferry Shores, 8:09, Coxey, 8:20, Cedar Grove, 8:21, Ripley, 8:24, Cairo, 8:27, Hickory Hills, 8:29, Blackburn, 8:31, Mount Roselle, 8:33, Gypsy and Cartwright, also 8:33. Rapidly developing tornado situation there, and that's moving off to the northeast up toward the northwest side of Athens over the next 30 to 45 minutes. We are starting to get some reports coming in. 1801 Prospect Road in Giles County, ham radio relay of a tornado on the ground reported by local police. That's up in southern and southeastern Giles County. That's near or just south of Elton. That's between Elton proper and Ardmore proper. That's the confirmed tornado on the ground. We still have the tornadic circulation coming up toward Cairo, Alabama, out of the Rogersville area. That's moving toward Cairo, Cartwright, Gypsy, up toward Elkmont and Thatch, and Lester and Lagtown if it holds together. That's moving off to the northeast at 35 miles an hour.
Fred, I'm going to turn on correlation coefficient to let me know your thoughts south of Ferry Shores.
Okay, so we'll watch this, and then let's go to reflectivity. Okay, that's in the inflow. Okay,
good.
So we'll watch that, but that is a developing circulation there. We have the possible tornado here just west of Cairo that we were tracking. We'll hit times of arrival in that skit there, and then we'll move back into Tennessee. All right, for the circulation north of Cedar Grove coming toward Cairo, 8:12 in Cairo, 8:16 in Mount Roselle, Gypsy 8:19, Cartwright 8:20, Lagtown at 8:24, Hayes Mill at 8:31, Elkmont at 8:31, Piney Chapel 8:35, Prospect 8:35, Pettisville at 8:36, Thatch at 8:35, Poplar Hill at 8:34. It looks like tornado watch for Middle Tennessee going to be extended until 3 a.m. Just passing that note along. We'll clear that skid off and go back north. We're having to work multiple storms now because we're pretty much in tornado outbreak mode at this time. And I'll let you finish your statement, Kelly, while I buy you a little bit of time before we go back to the next storm here. But that's your circulation in northwestern areas of Limestone County. If that holds together, that might be more of a threat to Ardmore, Pinedale, Thatch, Pettisville, if it holds together. Again, there is a tornado warning there in that northwest corner of Limestone County for that. That one's cleared to Lauderdale County, but the next one in northern parts of Lawrence County, Alabama, may clip Limestone, Lauderdale. What you got?
All right, real quick, I'm going to shift gears back to the Elton storm.
Yeah, clear radar and do that because
it is
Kelly's
still active. I've got it on 2, and I'll take it from right here. So
okay.
Brian is there. He reports golf ball sized hail in Elton. He got the whole thing on video.
Okay.
I do have reports that emergency crews are headed to the Elton area. To what extent, I don't know the damage, but they are inbound to that area.
And that should still be a tornado down east of where the printout of Elkton is. possibly right there. If not, it's still back near US 31 and I-65 just south of where the printout of the town is. So near Elton, North Ardmore, Elton up to Wheelerton, still being your tornado shelters where we still have a potential tornado that is down with that supercell that's about to be crossing out of Giles County into Lincoln County, Tennessee, and out of our viewing area within the next few minutes. And then we have the other storm that's been straddling.
That just tightened up.
Okay.
Big time.
All right. We'll come back to that in just half a second. Let's go back to the one north of there, and we'll come back to this in a second. We have this other one that's looking more like a Lincoln County, Tennessee situation. I know there's still a tornado warning for southern Marshall County. I would say Petersburg, Estella, Brown Shop, still stay in your shelter, but that's more than likely going to be a Lincoln County problem versus a Marshall County problem. So we'll go back to the one you have near Elton. I'll let you continue to talk about that.
Okay, right now that is crossing I-65. Let me get my bearings here. That is crossing actually in between Elton and Ardmore. If you're familiar with the Gardner Museum, just south of downtown Elton, we are seeing that. There we go. I'm sorry, my mic was off. We're seeing that cross in that area. It has passed now I-65. We have a new tornado warning that is being issued for Limestone and Madison County. Fred, I think this is the most we've ever had since we've been in operation.
Yeah, we're in full outbreak. This is full on a tornado outbreak at this time. So I want you to understand the seriousness of this. We talked when we came back on here at the beginning of this that the first storm of the day tells you a story. It gives you a sign of what the atmosphere is capable of. And with that first storm this afternoon, we had a large, violent, high impactful tornado. And now we're going in outbreak mode. What you got?
We have large structure damage confirmed in Elton.
Okay.
We have entrapment in Elton.
Okay. So major damage and entrapment coming from Elton, Tennessee, from that apparently large tornado that's going to be crossing out of Giles County into Lincoln County here within the next few minutes. A new tornado warning has been issued across northern Limestone County. It's for the same one that's been back near Cedar Grove and Cairo. They've just expanded the warning where we were already talking about up toward Elkmont and Thatch and Pinedale and the Ardmore area. Now it goes over into northwest Madison County as well. Then we still have the tornado warning straddling the Tennessee River near Vista Shores, Alabama. That's on the Lawrence, Limestone, Lauderdale juncture there in northwest Alabama. So we have in our viewing area 3 tornadic circulations. The fourth one is more of a Lincoln County, Tennessee problem, staying south of Marshall County. But we have a confirmed tornado down that's come across Elkton. And Ben, what was the source of those reports so I can pass along?
County Fire.
Okay.
The damage is on Case Road. So we do have, while Fred is doing that, confirmation of structural damage with one possibly trapped in the area of Case Road that's going to be near Elton. At the same time, as Fred said, we have other rotations underway in northwest Alabama near Cairo to Cartwright, and then south of Ferry Shores, crossing the Tennessee River. Actually, right now, folks in Ripley to Coxsey need to be in your safe place. It looks like we've got another that's trying to kick off in Flower Hill to Fish Pond, and then that's going to pose an issue for Lawson, and then up to Tanner, and then Athens eventually.
Right.
And then
I see a weekly rotating updraft back near the east side of Florence, out there near the Cox Creek, Florence Boulevard. It's not warned or anything, but every single updraft is rotating now, and that's what we were concerned with. We're going to have to watch every one. I will mention with that new tornado watch in Tennessee until 3 a.m., it now includes Hardin County, Tennessee. So if you've been sitting there in Hardin County wondering if you're ever going to see anything and why you're not in the tornado watch, you are now in the tornado watch until 3 a.m. And North Alabama will see its watch extended on into the early morning hours as well. So, again, like Ben was talking about, 3 circulations. This has been a potentially large tornado near Elkton and Prospect, Tennessee. Reports of significant damage and potential entrapment now. And then we have our two other tornado warning circulations back now near the Cairo, Alabama area in western Limestone County, and then the one near Vista Shores that will be coming up in the Coxie and Clements and the Blackburn area of Limestone County here over the next few minutes. Athens proper, not in a tornado warning polygon yet, but it's close, and these storms will be tracking up just northwest of there. But there's another circulation just north of Hillsboro near the Fish Pond area that has a severe thunderstorm warning. That may prompt a tornado warning for Tanner and Athens.
New watch is coming down.
Okay.
Until 3 a.m.
Yeah, Tennessee's already got that till 3 a.m., and it actually includes Hardin County now that wasn't in it earlier. So, Tennessee, you have a tornado watch until 3 a.m. It's still until 11 for North Alabama, but it will be extended, and I bet when it does, they're going to have to involve Tishomingo County, Mississippi, too. But we have 3 tornadic circulations. We're going to take them from north to south. We're going to look at our Elton tornadic circulation here. It's still in the Giles side of the line. So we'll zoom in on radar there.
1 second.
All right, and let's look at correlation and see where we might be. That makes me wonder if that cycled a little bit. So I'll hold my hand here. Go to reflectivity, please. Okay, that's in the inflow. So it looks like even though we have the broad mesocyclone now sitting on the county line, the actual tornado may have crossed over into Lincoln County. Still, if you're east of Elkmont, between Ardmore and Wheelerton, right on the county line between Giles and Lincoln, stay in your shelters 5 more minutes, and then we'll get this storm out of here. And now we're about to be able to focus down on the storms that are in northwest Alabama. If you're back in the Shoals Metro, Florence and Muscle Shoals, and Tuscumbia and Sheffield, you don't have any severe storms at the moment, but there are showers developing into thunderstorms. We will have to watch those. I just want you to know that we're not ignoring you. You just don't have anything dangerous. The dangerous storms are where we have the tornado warnings and the severe thunderstorm warnings. And with that one moving out of Giles County into Lincoln County, we're coming back to 2 that we're watching now. So unless we get another one, we're going to bounce back and forth between these 2 and give them equal coverage. We'll start with the southern one here and zoom in a little bit closer and look at the rotation. And again, you see the hook clear as day out here near Vista Shores. We do have a definite couplet on radar. This is from HTX, right? Okay, let's go to correlation coefficient just in case. And there's noise here. Now let's check back with reflectivity. Okay, so it's in the inflow. So that's not a debris signature, but that is an organizing rotation. That's near Vista Shores, and then it's going to be crossing over into Limestone County. All right.
We've got a new tornado warning dropping for Lawrence and Limestone.
And I think that may...
That is going to be until 8:45.
Okay. Let's see what all areas they include. It's our other storm here on the Tennessee River. So brand new tornado warning. Okay, this now includes Athens, French Mill, Tanner, the central parts here of Limestone County, and the northwest corner of Lawrence County, Alabama. Brand new tornado warning till 8:45. We'll go to storm relative velocity and see where that is.
I'm going to keep you on that, and I'm going to go ahead and put out a social media post.
Okay, and I will say that this rotation we were on, about to cross the Tennessee River in the Coxie and Clements and Ripley and Blackburn out here in western Limestone, that is rapidly intensifying. That may be a developing significant tornado again, so you need to be in your shelters. Any of these areas we're calling out, you need to be in shelter. But a new tornado warning till 8:45 in the far northeast corner of Lawrence County, Alabama, not Tennessee, Alabama, rotation over Flower Hill, crossing the Tennessee River up into Lawson, Tanner, downtown Athens in the path of this one now, Piney Chapel, French Mill, up towards Sardis Springs and as far northeast as Pisgah. And we have our other circulation out here, a stronger circulation. This may be getting ready to put down a significant tornado. This is coming up toward Coxie and Clements. You have the fire department and the school out here. You have Blackburn out here where the elementary school is with the traffic light there on Highway 72. You have Athens with Alabama 99 that runs out toward Cartwright. This is going to be crossing Alabama 99 just to the northwest of Athens and then running up toward Piney Chapel. And then if somebody can push radar just a little bit northward, we have the northern circulation in Limestone County, north of Cartwright near Gypsy. And we'll go back as tight as we were. Thank you, Ben. That's going to be near Cartwright and Gypsy, moving up to the northeast. And that one's headed toward Elkmont and Thatch and Pinedale and Ardmore. So at this point, 3 separate circulations targeting Limestone County. Pretty much at this point, considering where they're targeting, if you're from Athens north in any part of the county, I would say go ahead and be in your tornado shelter. The storm that was moving through Giles County has moved out of Giles County and into Lincoln County. So if you're watching it from Giles County, the storm threat from that tornado near Elton, it has ended. It's out of the county. We're still going to have to watch for other storms later, but the main focus now.
That's it.
Okay.
That's from Ty Curry.
I'll let you talk.
Harrison Nick sent that in just a second ago. Brian got his drone footage. He's trying to get that to us, but that is the tornado that has gone through Elton.
Okay, and if you're wondering who Harrison Nix is, he was one of our first interns alongside Riley Blackwell. He is a degreed meteorologist. He formerly worked at WTOK Meridian. He lives in northern Madison County. He has family in the Limestone County area near Ardmore and Tony, just west of Tony and such. That is the Elkton, Tennessee tornado from earlier, that large tornado we were talking about. That's live footage there. Again, 3 circulations in Limestone County. The Lincoln County, for our viewing area, it's off the board. The 3 we're focusing on are in Limestone County. They're kind of on the Tennessee River, so for about another 5 minutes from Cortland to Hillsboro north, up into northeast Lawrence County, Alabama, stay in your shelter. But this is focusing in on Limestone County at this time with 3 separate circulations. And I'll tell you, out of the 3, it's that one southwest of Coxie that really concerns me. That may be developing into our next large tornado. So that's the one we'll take first. And we'll zoom in tighter and interrogate this thing.
Which one?
The bright one.
I like that.
Yeah,
the bright one.
The one Stevie Wonder can see. That, that one right there. That's an intense circulation and really tight circulation. So we'll hold finger here, go to correlation coefficient. That looks suspicious there, that green blotch. Now we'll go to reflectivity. It matches. So we may have a tornado on the ground on the Tennessee River, southwest of Coxie.
Let me ask you, and this is a meteorology science that I've actually never considered since dual pole data, but would the CC drop be a different intensity due to a water spout?
Possible, since it's crossing the river.
Yeah.
I would say it might. Yeah, with a tornado / waterspout crossing the river, your correlation coefficient drop is going to be similar to that of rain. Now, it may not look exactly like it, but if you think about it, it's just making water airborne. So
there it is, in that case.
And that's maybe why it looks a little less deep blue and a little more kind of sporadic.
Because you're going, at that point, the widest part of Wheeler Lake, right through there.
All right, emergency manager has confirmed the northern limestone tornado warning is now confirmed. That is a deepening debris signature, I think. They're on the Tennessee River as well. So we have possibly multiple tornadoes down in limestone or moving into limestone. The northern Limestone County tornado is emergency manager confirmed. This one here looks like a debris signature southwest of Coxie, moving up toward Ripley, Coxie, Clements, and the Blackburn area at this time. Let's see. And then we still have our other circulation out here near Flower Hill that's pointed toward Lawson, Tanner, and Athens. Let's go to storm relative velocity.
I wonder if that storm's trying to merge.
Okay. Kelly, I'm going to let you talk with radar for a moment because I need to get a picture and get this in here somehow or other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to let you talk with radar for a second.
So right now what storm relative velocity is showing is 2 areas of pretty strong low-level rotation. Again, the tornado for Limestone County and Madison County is confirmed by the EMA there. So we do, at this point, as far as we know, we do have something on the ground. And I want to just go ahead and real quick flip over to reflectivity because, yeah, it does look like either, because these were 2 separate storms at one point, and now it's looking to have grown into one giant supercell with the parent storm kind of absorbing that other one, but still maintaining the rotation. So we'll have to see how those interact with one another. Typically, it does not mean good news. However, it could limit some factors, but right now we'll just wait and see.
At the same time, that's what reinforced the Murray County storm, and it produced that large tornado earlier.
And so we've got to kind of go with what we've already been seeing today versus what we've seen in the past years with case studies. What's happening today is the same environment that we're in, even if it was just a couple hours ago. So we kind of have to err on the side of caution, certainly, with this southern storm kind of getting absorbed into the northern storm. I would say everybody in Limestone County is, it's just crossed the Tennessee River into Limestone County now. You folks need to be in shelter right now. I'm going to go back to storm relative velocity. And I mean, I'm still seeing 2 separate couplets, but like you saw in reflectivity, the storm's definitely morphing into one storm. So I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do an overall track of these storms, this area of rotation. Give me 1 second. I've got to clear that off. Just to give an idea, because if this storm's morphing into one, I'm going to have to call out a lot more towns just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this line and move it northeast at about 35 miles an hour. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this down just a little bit. Okay, so we've got the time frame again, and this is for the 2 areas of rotation that we're seeing right now kind of lumped into one since they are so close together and in the process of morphing. Tanner, 8:28 p.m., Blackburn, 8:29 p.m., Hickory Hills, 8:32, Athens, 8:35 p.m. You folks in Athens along Interstate 65, you folks are in the path of this tornado warning. French Mill, 8:38, Sardis Springs, 8:43, Piney Chapel, you folks need to be in your safe space. 8:43 is the time of arrival for this area of rotation. Elkmont, Alabama, 8:47 p.m., Center Hill, 8:51, Thatch, 8:52, Pisgah, 8:53, Harvest in Madison County, 8:54, Tony, 8:59 in Pinedale, 9 o'clock. Again, these storms moving northeast, 35 miles an hour. Again, it's covering up a pretty good portion of Limestone County at this time with the overall rotation, the 2 centers of rotation trying to morph now into one. So we will keep a very close eye on how that interacts, but like Fred said earlier, it did not mean anything good for those folks in Murray County. So we will continue to watch this very closely.
Real quick.
NWS confirms my suspicions that is a tornado debris signature they're crossing into southern limestone that we're tracking right there. Okay. In addition, there's an EMA confirmed tornado northeast of Cartwright headed toward Elkmont, Thatch, Pinedale, and Ardmore at this time. So we have 2 on the ground in limestone. What you got, Ben?
We have damage reports around just north of Rogersville, where that was first tracking a little bit ago.
Okay. So, and that's the one that's up here coming up toward Elkmont. That's EMA confirmed. And then we have at least 1 debris signature here south of Coxsey coming into southern limestone. So that we know of, we have 2 confirmed tornadoes on the ground, one up not far from Elkmont, the other one south of Coxsey. So with the lead one, Legtown, Elkmont, Thatch, Pinedale, Ardmore, shelter now. With the southern one here, south of Coxsey, Clements, Blackburn, Ripley, as far southeast as Athens from that one shelter. And then this one that Kelly's been talking about that's trying to merge into the main southern storm, that's had a rotation. Lawson, Tanner, Athens, French Mill, Pisgah, Sardis Springs, Capshaw, Shelter now. Multiple tornadic circulations. We have things confirmed on the ground with damage in Limestone County. Multiple areas here. I need you in shelter in these areas. Small interior room, away from windows, lowest floor near the center, away from windows. Get out of mobile homes, get out of vehicles. We'll switch over to storm relative velocity and kind of clean things up a little bit. Out of everything, the strongest on radar at the moment is here between Coxsey and Ripley, coming up on that region, coming up on Ripley proper, coming up on the Clements Fire Department, coming up on the Blackburn area. So let's take a manual storm track from over Ripley. Let's go about like this up toward the north side of Athens at 35. Here we go. Here are times of arrival. This is a confirmed tornado down. 8:33, Lawson, Blackburn, 8:35, Athens, 8:43, Piney Chapel, 8:49, French Mill, 8:51, Sardis Springs, 8:52, Elkmont, 8:52, East Limestone, 8:55, Thatch, 8:57, Capshaw, 8:59, and can we right click and extend that out to maybe 45 minutes? And we're going to get some of these northern areas up here. Here we go. All right, so let's see. French Mill, 8:51. Sardis Springs, 8:52. Elkmont, 8:52. East Limestone, 8:55. Thatch, 8:57. Capshaw, 8:59. Center Hill, 9:01. Pisgah, 9:01. Pinedale, 9:05. Harvest, 9:05. Ardmore, 9:06. This is a confirmed tornado down doing some degree of damage. We have a debris signature on radar. And this is coming generally. This is going to be very close to Athens. And I don't think it's that one. It's been back west of there in the light. That's your debris signature right there. We'll hold here. Go to velocity. All right. Matches up. We'll go to reflectivity. And that's our debris signature there. That's going to be very close to Ripley. And then that's going to be crossing Highway 72 out here, very close to Blackburn and the elementary school. You have Clements Fire Department here. You have the church on the south side of the road. You have the high school just west of here. Here's some of the streets. Parker Road, Snake Road, 7 Mile Post Road, Xanner Road, Shaw Road. That's the debris signature right now. So clear off of that, go to velocity. Again, come back to the northern tornado that's been on the ground, that's done damage all the way back to Rogersville, at least off and on at times, if not somewhat continuously, and that's ramped up. And then there's another circulation back north of Walnut Hill that we'll have to watch as well. So let's go to correlation here and see what we have. Nothing that stands out super duper. There is a little bit of a lowering in the CC here. So we will hit reflectivity. And that's in the inflow. I think we may have a cycling supercell here where we have multiple circulations. So let's back out our radar just a little bit. We'll back out our radar a little bit. And we will take the, let's see, we will take the pink arrow. And let's do times of arrival for that, because I think that's a good midpoint between the two types. Yeah, the pink arrow on Elkmont. All right, I think that captures both possible circulations. Elkmont, it's almost on top of you. 834, Pettisville 840, Thatch 845, Elkmont Springs 851, Pinedale 853, Ardmore 853, Cedar Hill 855, Cache Point 859, Maple Hill 901. Again, this has been a confirmed tornado. Previously, it may be cycling, but we don't want to take that chance. Even if it is cycling, it could get back down at a moment's notice. So be in a place of safety immediately in these communities in northern parts of Limestone County. So we'll clear that off. Let's go back into eastern Lauderdale County and take a look at that storm that's growing in intensity. That's back near the Center Star and Elgin areas. There's no warning on this, but with the way things are developing tonight, we have to watch that carefully. There's a broad circulation back here near the Center Star area on Highway 72, north of Aqua Vista, east of Killen near Center Star. That's just past Brooks High School. That's going to be coming up toward Elgin and Kingtown. You have Alabama 101 that runs from Tennessee down through Elgin down to Wheeler Dam. That's going to be crossing 72 and 101 very close to Elgin. You have a Jack's there at the traffic light. You have the pizzeria very close to there. That's where that's going to be crossing, very close to the Houston town area right now.
We've got a skid. I'm going to go ahead and click it.
Do what you got?
Just clicking the skid.
Okay. All right. Here's the time of arrival.
Let me go ahead and do that to give you a break. Elton, 8:36 p.m. Again, this storm, this center of rotation, not warned at this time, but we are seeing broad rotation, so it is something you have to be paying attention to. If I name your town, pay attention, but you don't necessarily, well, a lot of you folks down the road, you are already in a tornado warning, so you may already be in shelter. But with this storm specifically, again, not yet tornado warned, but we are seeing broad rotation, so you need to pay attention to this storm coming through the Center Star area of Lauderdale County. Elgin, 8:36 p.m. Kingtown, 8:39 p.m. Whitehead, 8:41 p.m. Grassy and Anderson, 8:45 p.m. Cedar Grove, 8:47 p.m. Cherry Grove, 8:48, as well as Powell. Ridgeway Mill, 8:49, as well as Good Springs. Appleton, 8:51, as well as Cairo. Peach, 8:52, as well as Mount Roselle, and Scarce Grease at 8:53 p.m. Again, this is for this storm that is not yet warned, but we are seeing rotation with this storm. So again, unless you're already in a tornado warning, you don't yet have to seek shelter, but we are watching this rotation very closely. We'll be waiting to see if it does get any sort of a warning in the future, but that's what we're seeing with that storm. Again, they're moving due northeast at about 35 miles an hour, and pretty much any storm that's going up at this time is at least starting to get some weak and broad rotation at the mid-levels. Of course, that's the nature of a supercell thunderstorm by definition, and we are continuing to see almost the entirety of Limestone County under a tornado warning at this point. So let's go ahead and go back to Limestone County and parts. Let's go ahead and go to the Elkmont area, because I think the southern storm is trying to cycle right now. We're still paying very close attention to it, but I see a little bit of a closer rotation in the Elkmont storm. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and hit correlation coefficient. Again, not seeing anything too concerning at this time. But if you're in Elkton over towards the Thatch, Pinedale, and Ardmore area, you do need to be in your shelters right now. This storm has produced a confirmed tornado already back due southeastward of the track. So again, this is something you need to take very seriously. You need to be in shelter right now, as well as much of the rest of Limestone County in general.
Let's take a look at this guy. Did we just do that a second ago?
We did, but it's time to hit it again.
Right near Ripley?
Yep.
I was posting to social. Highway 72, you've got downtown Coxie there. This is Ripley. And then Blackburn, located here. This, switch over to velocities real quick. Not very impressive there, but it has been, obviously.
But that CC has been a debris signature, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So it has had a history of damage. We do have damage reports around the Rogersville area. Kelly, real quick, and then I'll turn it back over to Fred when you're ready. Pop back up and let's look at the storm developing back out to our southwest of Lawrence County, Tennessee, because we're starting to see a few more storms fire west, and we've not seen that in a little while. It's been a little bit. All right, nothing just super impressive with this storm, but nevertheless, this is something that's new that's kicked up here in the past few minutes. And then down toward Waterloo as well, I saw a few things trying to fire here. So now we're seeing more of this supercell genesis occurring back on the far west side, as opposed to where we were a little bit. A lot of this has fired over, our area really strengthened toward the I-65 corridor. That's what we've seen. But now we're starting to see more stuff fire back to the west. Just as an indicator, we're going to be with you all night long.
Yeah, and we're going to switch out. And to that point, let's switch to links 1 for just half a second before we come back to ongoing storms. This is the new update from the Storm Prediction Center. They have expanded the level 4 out of 5 risk of severe weather. Now we're in the middle of the outbreak, so this doesn't really matter too much anymore, but to let you know that the seriousness this is ramped up to, they have expanded the level 4 out of 5 risk of severe weather southward to include all of our part of southern middle Tennessee. So now down to Savannah, through all of Wayne County, Lawrence County, Giles counties, Lewis County, Murray County, all of Marshall County, Tennessee, over here through Fayetteville and Winchester and Shelbyville, you're now in the level 4 or 5. They've also expanded this into North Alabama now, down to the Shoals metro area, over to about Cortland, to Decatur, Athens, Huntsville, Scottsboro, in North Alabama. You are now in the level 4 out of 5. And in addition to this, they have upped tornado probabilities in southern middle Tennessee, North Alabama, to where the level 4 out of 5 isn't for wind, hail. It's specifically for strong, long track tornadoes with these supercells. So this is a tornado driven level 4 out of 5 risk of severe weather for the possibility of these supercells producing additional long track, strong tornadoes through the next several hours. I just wanted to show that since risk is upgraded, that shows the seriousness of the situation. We'll go back to storm tracking here at this moment. And I'll let you guys clear off and show whatever you need to show. You guys talk, and then I'll watch so I can get re-caught up with whatever's going on.
I'll go ahead and talk about that storm. Let's go ahead and hit the storm near Elkmont at this time. And go to storm relative velocity. And it's still... Now again, this storm has a history of producing a tornado. It still has some circulation in and around the Elkmont area. Go ahead and go to correlation coefficient. Again, not seeing anything super alarming, which we haven't over the last 15 or 20 or so minutes. And we're going to continue to watch it. Of course, still a tornado warning. If you are northeast of Elkmont, again, you folks in Ardmore, Pinedale, Thatch, you folks need to be in shelter at this time. Even though a tornado may not be on the ground at this moment, again, we've seen how quick things have been able to change, again, in just a matter of a second. So you folks do need to take this very seriously and seek shelter. Again, just want to reiterate, the lowest level of your home with as many walls in between you, away from windows. If you have helmets, bring those with you into your shelter. If you don't have helmets, grab a pot or a pan from the kitchen. That will do just fine. If you have blankets, a mattress, pillows, that will also protect you from debris. So there, of course, are many ways to survive a tornado, but again, you have to also take the precautions when a tornado warning is issued. Here is a list of the tornado safety. Again, a basement is a best case scenario, but again, not required to survive a tornado. A storm shelter, if you've got it, again, right now with all of these storms imminent, not the best to drive to a shelter. Where you are right now is probably going to be where you have to hunker down. And as well, again, like I said, a small interior room, no windows, lowest floor with as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. And again, bring those things with you like a helmet or some pots and pans to protect your heads from flying debris. And if you are driving at this time, if there's just no other option for you, it is best to be in a ditch on the side of the road laying flat than in your vehicle. So overall, again, not seeing anything too alarming in the Elkmont area in terms of correlation coefficient. Let's go ahead and zoom in west of Athens because, again, that's a very heavily populated area. Looks like the center of rotation is just east of the Blackburn area, continuing to move northeastward. If we can zoom in. Okay, so it looks like
that may be not caught up yet.
No, I think what's happening is
we've cycled and that's just rotating up direct.
These the storms, you know, the northern storm has ingested the southern storm like we've been talking about. So I think this interaction, the storm doesn't really know what to do at this point. So it's a little bit disorganized. Not to say it won't get itself together within the next 5 minutes or so, but right now looking a little bit disorganized, but still something we're keeping a very close eye on. We have no reason to not continue to verbalize the tornado warning with this storm and with this center of rotation. It looks like, I would say the center of rotation's near the Bats Height area, just north of the Tanner area, continuing again to move northeastward in the Canebrake area. on the way there. If you want to go ahead and click the skit, zoom out a little bit so we can get some times of arrival, because it looks like a new scan is showing a little bit more organization with this. So Country Club Acres, 8:46 p.m. French Mill, 8:54. Pete's Corner, 8:55. Fairmount, 8:56. Sardis Springs, 8:57. East Limestone, 9:01. Parker, 9:04. Burgering Gin, 9:05. Oakland, 9:05, as well as Capshaw Center Hill, 9:08. Madison, 9:11. Harvest, 9:12. and Monrovia, those portions of Madison County by 9:13. And again, we're mapping out and going into the future with the center of rotation, the most dangerous portion of the storm. There are other parts of the storm. It may already be thundering, lightning, raining, hailing at your house, but we are mapping out the trajectory of the most dangerous part of the storm, which is, of course, the center of rotation. If you want to go ahead and go to the storm east of Elgin now, with that couplet, that's
the old tornado warning, but that developing couplet's moving back into that old polygon.
It is.
Real quick, I want to throw this out there, and I've had to pull this up to find out where it was. In the Brigadoon area of Limestone County, that sits on the Tennessee River, right in this area, south of Ripley, they have several damage reports in that area. But as Kelly said, we do have a concern now for another round of rotation that's starting to ramp up just to the northwest of downtown Rogersville.
Yes, let's zoom in a little bit closer. I did just recently do some times of arrival for this. Let's go ahead and name out some streets. Again, this is not currently under a tornado warning, but we're seeing decent signs of rotation to where you folks, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get to your safe space if I name out your street. It looks like right now it is over top County Road 51 at Toonersville, and it is moving northeast towards Highway 207. A little bit south of the Whitehead area. I do not know how to pronounce this place. It is Romine. I apologize if I pronounce that incorrectly, but it is continuing to move northeastward at 35 miles an hour. I see County Road 52 up there as well. So if you're in any of these locations in the vicinity at all, I would err on the side of caution and maybe start heading to your safe place right now.
Tornado warning for Limestone and Madison coming down.
All right. And I think that is going to be for the Elkmont storm.
They let the northern one near Elkmont go, so we'll see if it's a continuation of the southern one or a reissue of the northern one. Landmark near your Lauderdale County storm, near or south of the Fish Krill restaurant on 207.
All right, I'll repeat that. Near or south of the Fish Krill restaurant on 207.
Oh, there it is. It's going to be for that northern limestone at Thatch.
Okay, so that is just going to be a continuation of that tornado warning that we've had all the way through East Lauderdale County, now continuing through eastern and northeastern Limestone County, and then moving into portions of Madison County as well. Again, we have not seen over the last 20 or so minutes any sign of anything concerning on correlation coefficient, yet the rotation is still there, and it is still at least concerning enough to, continue the tornado warning. So that storm going to continue to move. It looks like it's moving still about northeastward, but the warning is...
Please. Sorry.
Yep.
It's a little tighter now. All right. Reflectivity. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Okay, yep, thank you. And we will, continue to just flip back and forth between products, because that's how we're able to verify something, at least on radar, when we're not there to see it with our own eyes. So, we're going to continue to see this storm moving. Again, this polygon drawn a little bit more east-northeastward compared to northeastward, so we're going to continue to watch that trend. And again, the center of rotation looks to be just north of the Thatch area. If you are in the Pinedale area, it is probably raining cats and dogs, maybe even hailing a little bit. You need to be in your safe space. That center of rotation on its way to you within the next few minutes. Here is some time frames of when you can expect this, again, center of rotation over your area. Pinedale, 8:56, Cedar Hill, 8:58, Maple Hill, 9:03, the Bobo area, 9:08, Browns Corner, 9:09, Elkwood, 9:09, Blanche, 9:11, Carter Grove, 9:12, and Taft, 9:12 as well. Again, the storm, we don't see signs of a tornado at this time. However, the storm, again, is capable of producing one, as it is already done so a little bit more west in its path.
All right, tag out time.
Sounds good.
Tag.
Hey, new severe thunderstorm warning coming down.
Yep. Let me hit the Athens circulation one more time, and then we'll talk about new severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Lauderdale for that one northeast of Elgin that Kelly was tracking. Are we on high top or GWX?
High top.
Okay. Just want to make sure so I know my frame of reference with the velocity signature here. And we have a broad circulation just south of Athens. If we go back to reflectivity, we'll see the hook that we still have. However, it's not as impressive on velocity as it once was, but a potential tornado here on the south side of Athens, between downtown Athens and...
Mike,
I'm on it. I'm on.
you're dead then.
Yeah, back.
Here, take mine.
No, that'll be too long. Talk for just a second.
So again, what he's saying is downtown Athens right now, the center of circulation is overhead or just south and east of you. However, if we can go back to the storm relative velocity, if we can kind of pinpoint where that rotation is, again, looks to be more on the south side of Athens, Interstate 65, crossing that area right now, approaching, again, yes, not too far from Buc-ee's. We've been saying it all the time. Buc-ee's was built in not the greatest location. It seems like that is a common tornado or rotation path. But frame of reference, everybody knows Buc-ee's. So again, in the Buc-ee's area, that is where the center of rotation of this storm is at this time, continuing to move northeastward. And we have a confirmed tag on this, or is that
I think
from
it's
a while
legacy
ago?
from previous.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure and double check. But again, that's still important to know because if a storm has already produced a tornado, it doesn't take much for it to drop another one. So we're going to continue to watch this moving northeast at 35 miles an hour, approaching the French Mill area, as well as Highway 72 east of Athens, in between Athens, and starting to approach County Line Road within the next 5 or 10 minutes, heading into Madison County. But again, is moving a little bit northeastward. If you want to go, the skits a little off center, but
And we might have to draw a manual
yeah,
in there.
if we could draw a manual.
What's your speed you want on it?
35, please. Again, this is the center of rotation for the storm. We don't have any signs of a confirmed tornado at this time, but times of arrival for the center of rotation part of the storm: French Mill 8:54, East Limestone 8:59, Oakland 9:03, Capshaw 9:03, Center Hill 9:07, Harvest 9:10, Monrovia 9:11, UAH 9:18, and Redstone Arsenal 9:18 as well. If we can go ahead and check, well, I'll just go ahead and check correlation coefficient, and then I'll go ahead and step off. And again, not really seeing anything of concern right now, just seeing some inflow into the storm, which is a sign of a healthy thunderstorm, a healthy supercell, but just no sign of any tight rotation at this
Tornado
time.
warning coming for Limestone and Madison.
And that's probably an extension of this current one.
All right, we've got
Yep,
just
near
a ton
Tanner.
going on in here. So.
That's it. The new tornado warning is going to be this one near Tanner. Kelly was just tracking that. That's on the north side of Tanner, south side of Athens, not too far from Buc-ee's, maybe a little north of there. That's going to be crossing I-65 very close to the US 72 exit, where you have the Hampton Inn, you have the Whataburger close by, you have the McDonald's over there, you have the Publix not far away, you have the Jack's over there. That's going crossing I-65 now. That's going to be coming out toward East Limestone in the Capshaw area. That's the one Kelly was tracking. That's a new tornado warning till 9:30. Let's go hit that severe thunderstorm warning in eastern Lauderdale and northern Limestone for this other storm. This is north of Rogersville. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. We'll hit this real quick and get back to our tornado warnings. Rotation broader than it was, but we're going to have to watch that. The main concern is going to be from Elgin and Rogersville northward, Whitehead, Anderson, out near the Fish Grill restaurant on 207, and then moving back near Cedar Grove, Good Springs, Cairo, Hickory Hill, Cartwright, Gypsy. That's the Alabama 99 corridor that goes from Athens back through Cartwright to Anderson, over toward Legtown and Elkmont. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning. The rotation is broader and it's weaker, but we'll have to watch that. But our two circulations we have, tornado warnings in the eastern side of Limestone County. Both of the circulations are on I-65 right now. One is very close to the I-65 US 72 exit, the Hampton Inn exit. They're the main Athens exit on I-65. The other one is up here just north of Thatch, between Ardmore and Thatch on I-65. That's headed up toward Pinedale and the south side of Ardmore. That's our two tornadic circulations. We'll take the northern one first and zoom in and go to storm relative velocity. And again, give us about another 10, 15 minutes. We're probably going to have this one out of Limestone. Our rotation is just crossing I-65. That was a little Hollins Gin area that just popped up. That's coming on the north side of Thatch toward Pinedale. This is 251 that runs from Athens through Sardis Springs to Pisgah to Pinedale to Ardmore. The circulation concern is Pinedale up to Ardmore, back to I-65 north of Thatch. That's the area in Limestone County where we have concern. If you're in those areas, you should have been sheltered for a while, but if you're not, shelter now. Small interior room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows, out of vehicles, out of mobile homes. We'll go back to the one that is on the south side of Athens proper. And moving into the east side of Athens, this is crossing Alabama 72. This is going to be very close to the Athens State Water Tower out there by the Publix. We have the fast food restaurants at that exit. We have a 306 barbecue out there. We have a Jack's out there. We have a credit, I think one of the Redstone credit unions is out there. French Mill out there. Our friends at WAFF 48 in Huntsville have their live radar there off 72. If you know that location as a landmark, that's where that circulation is now. That's carrying east-northeast up toward Capshaw and East Limestone. Possible tornado here. Stay in your shelters. You should have been in your shelters, but if you haven't been, small interior room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows until we can get this storm out. And then it's going to be crossing over into Madison County. Now, Madison County is not the viewing area, but just a heads up, it's going to be near and north of Highway 72, the north side of Huntsville, Monrovia, over toward Alabama A&M, up toward Meridianville in Madison County. For those of you that watch us for downstream information, that's where the higher threat is. Tornado warning continues over into Madison County. So you guys be in shelter too, but we don't focus on Madison County nonstop because you're outside the viewing area. But our two circulations, crossing I-65, one near French Mill, the other one coming up toward Pinedale and the south side of Ardmore, that will be crossing over into Madison County out of our viewing area within the next 10 to 15 minutes as well. That's getting very close to crossing Alabama Highway 251 on the south side of Pinedale. Harrison Nix that we mentioned earlier that had that picture that he sent in, his parents live out in this area. So Missy and Elton, if you're watching us, be in your shelter now. Possible tornadoes coming up on you over the next couple of minutes. That's going to be crossing Alabama 251 here in the next minute or two. We have two circulations here, but Limestone County is the only county in our viewing area under tornado warning. We have that other thunderstorm with a severe thunderstorm warning back near Elgin and Rogersville in eastern Lauderdale County. Rotation's been a lot more disorganized with it, but it's still capable of half-dollar size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds north of Elgin, north of Rogersville, from Whitehead to Anderson, the Fish Crew restaurant, and then back across the same areas of northern Limestone County, Cairo and Cartwright, back up toward Legtown and Lester and Thatch, those areas where there's a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Have you guys seen any new reports, damage reports, anything from the previous storms that's new that you need to talk about or anything of that nature?
I'm good. Nothing here.
Okay.
You want to do a reset and look at the region real quick?
Let's just go ahead and look at everybody. Because like we talked about earlier, North Alabama, Southern Middle Tennessee is now a level 4 out of 5 risk of severe storms. This is our supercell tornado outbreak that's ongoing here A large number of that's east of us now, but we still have these developing cellular storms back into North Alabama, southern middle Tennessee. The main line is still up into southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. You see that just like lower and left of the Tennessee Valley Weather logo. Here's our line of thunderstorms, and it's starting to get better organized. That's the final line that will be coming through after midnight and through the early morning hours. That's what we have to wait on in order for the storm threat to be over. The other concern we have, not just the tornadoes we've had and the damaging winds and the hail, but we've seen all this widespread, really heavy rain from the supercells. And then we have this line coming. There's going to be an increasing risk of flash flooding across southern middle Tennessee and northwest Alabama as we head past midnight, especially on through the daybreak hours as this line of thunderstorms finally moves in. Tornado watch is up until 3 a.m. for southern middle Tennessee. We can hit that caution looking button there and show the watch warning map overview. And that'll pop up here. And there may be an info box that pops up after it does that kind of thing that we have to clear off. Yep, you can clear that off right there with a right click. All right, so tornado watch for all of our Tennessee counties. And you notice our banner's red and our logo's red. That's because we go into storm alert mode when the risk is a level 4 or higher. They made that in the middle of this evening situation. So tornado watch until 3 a.m. for all of our Tennessee counties. It's up for all of our Alabama counties in North Alabama until 11 p.m. However, it will be extended into the early morning hours as the supercells continue and that line of thunderstorms comes in during the pre-dawn hours. So this is a long duration severe weather outbreak that we have across the area. Here are our 2 tornado warning polygons. One in far northeast parts of Limestone County, Alabama, near the Pinedale region. That extends out of our viewing area in the northern Madison County. The next one is out near the French Mill, East Limestone, Capshaw area, east of downtown Athens. That extends over to the north side of downtown Huntsville, Monrovia, Alabama A&M, Madison County outside the viewing area, but want to give you a heads up. It's the 2 areas of eastern Limestone County that have the tornado warnings, the 2 circulations that we're concerned about. So we'll go back to radar, and if you guys have anything you need to interrupt me with, feel free, but otherwise we're going to storm track here.
We're just cleaning up social media at the moment, with a ton of images that have come in.
Okay.
Some of the most spectacular tornado...
Will you get the DMA, please, Ben?
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Some of the most spectacular tornado footage I've ever seen that we've, in our area, we're getting.
Okay. Kelly, you're working on that to get into the systems, right? We'll have that ready and racked up for you as soon as Kelly gets this into the systems. We'll stop, loop, go into eastern Limestone, look at our 2 circulations here on radar and see what we have. And again, it's going to be another 10 minutes or so, and we'll have both of these out of Limestone County and out of the viewing area. But we have one out here coming up on Capshaw near US 72. So let's zoom in tight on that and look at storm relative velocity. And we're going to hold nothing too threatening, but I'm going to hold finger here where that higher reflectivity was. We'll switch to CC. Nothing concerning. So that is a rotation. It could ramp back up in a second's notice, but for right now, it looks like a rotation, possible tornado east of French Mill on Highway 72, moving toward Capshaw County Line Road and East Limestone area, and then crossing over into Madison County. Let's go north toward our other one that's been south of Ardmore near the Pinedale area of Limestone County, Alabama. Ben doing a great job driving this radar. He's had the bearing stuff as long as I've had it in my hands when he worked back at Channel 31 in Huntsville. So expert right there. We'll go back to storm relative velocity. Our rotation should be near or east of 251, south of Pinedale. So that's going to be crossing out of Limestone County in another 5 minutes. It's not as strong as what it was, and we don't see any signs of debris on radar at this time. Doesn't mean it can't ramp back up. However, it has ramped down for the time being. But the right thing to do is hold the tornado warning in place. Those are going to be crossing out of the viewing area in 5 to 10 minutes. Let's go back, and before we have that right there, let's go back and look at our severe thunderstorm warning in eastern Lauderdale and West Limestone. And make sure that's not trying to ramp back up, because you know how this has been tonight. Have another strong thunderstorm, not severe warning, near Minor Hill. We'll look at briefly in just a minute, but a severe thunderstorm warning here near Cedar Grove. Storms crossing out of Lauderdale County into Limestone County now. That's an intensifying circulation here. So from Cedar Grove up toward Cairo, Hickory Hills, Cartwright, Gypsy, up toward Elkmont and Thatch again. Watch this. We may get another tornado warning. Before we do, Kelly, I'm going to let you hit your pictures so that we can get those in before we might have another tornado warning on our hands.
Okay, if we can go to this links right here. This was in Prospect, Tennessee in southern Giles County. Again, earlier how we've been tracking that tornado warned storm with the confirmed tornado when it was in Elton, but also when it was in Prospect, Tennessee. Thank you so much, Matthew Dixon, for sending us this video on Facebook. Doing so safely as well. That's what we always like to emphasize. We love your pictures and videos, but only if you can do so safely. So that's certainly, I know there's a little bit of trees right there, but that looks as much of a tornado as any other tornado video that I've seen.
And it looks like a significant one.
It does. It looks quite wide. It looks, I mean, you can see it spinning from here, and a very just mean looking storms that have been coming through. Again, that was southern Giles County, Prospect, Tennessee. Again, thank you, Matthew Dixon, for sending us this video.
All right, thank you, Kelly. And we'll go back to Viper Doppler here. And again, the two tornado warning storms we have are getting ready to shift out of Limestone County here within the next 5 minutes or less. They're still over East Limestone, it's still over Pinedale and eastward, but we're going to focus now a little bit more on this one, and we're going to click the skid here because it's doing a good job with times of arrival track. For an intensifying rotation in western Limestone County, there's a severe thunderstorm warning in there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That's really suspicious though. So times of arrival here for this rotation, 9:13 in Cairo, Mount Roselle at 9:17. Hickory Hills, 9:18, Gypsy at 9:20, Cartwright, 9:22, O'Neill, 9:25, Legtown, 9:26, Alabama Fork, 9:33, Hayes Mill, 9:33, and Elkmont, 9:34 as well. So again, that may be our next developing tornado on radar. Limestone County EMA is reporting home is destroyed on Inverness Place in the Brigadoon community. That's on the Tennessee River that you were reporting on in southern Limestone earlier, Ben. So we have significant structural damage of a home destroyed reported back there from earlier.
And Fred, I want to say with this center of rotation that we're watching, I mean, another storm that produced a tornado moved right through. So I know you guys may be getting a little bit weary, a little bit tired, but again, still, these are storms that we have to pay attention to. Unfortunately, it's multiple rounds tonight, again, and there's still more to come. So again, take all of these warnings very seriously. We have had several confirmed tornado reports already, so the storm heading towards your house is never an exception.
Right. And that circulation approaching East Limestone, Capshaw and Oakland, they're on 72. It's still a little broad, but it may be trying to cycle back up. So they're in far eastern Limestone County, near the county line, within 2 miles north or 2 miles south of US 72. There's a tornado warning that continues for a reason. I need you to stay in your shelter. The one that's been coming through Pinedale, that looks like it is shifting out of Limestone County. New circulation we'll have to watch back here coming out of Lauderdale into western Limestone. Doesn't have a tornado warning, but we'll have to watch it. This is a full-blown tornado outbreak that we are in the middle of. The low-level winds ramped up close to sunset, and that's just made everything go bananas here. And that first storm of the day kind of gave us a signal that, hey, this environment, it's not right, guys. You're in for a time, and we have been here over the past couple of hours, and then we have that line of thunderstorms later tonight. The new scan here on radar, not quite as impressive with that broad rotation coming out of Lauderdale into Limestone at this time, but we'll still have to watch that. These can cycle, meaning they can ramp up for a while, then ramp down for a few minutes before they ramp up again. So we'll have to watch that carefully. Capshaw, East Limestone, Oakland, be in your place of safety for about another 5 more minutes before we get that storm over into Madison County. The northern one up here, let's take a closer look at that. That's been tracking your Pinedale. I think that's over into Madison County now. So we'll take a look at that and make sure before we give northeast Limestone a clear from that. And yeah, I don't see any signs of circulation there. That storm has moved on over into northern Madison now. That's just clusters of heavy thunderstorms here near the Ardmore area. There is another one we're going to have to watch back near Minor Hill and Stella again, so we'll pan up to that. That doesn't have a warning on it, but that's developing similarly to some of these others.
And I'll tell you another concern with this too is the fact that this particular cell is running in the same path as that tornado earlier.
Boundaries to work on, and this is the same case down there in Limestone too.
Well, and you've got, though, a lot of emergency crews who are out and a lot of lightning wrapping up with this thing too. That's going to hamper emergency response into the Elton area.
Right, and then we also have to worry about potential flash flooding on top of everything. We'll hit storm relative velocity and see if rotation. There's some very weak, broad rotation, but I wouldn't consider that a tornado threat at the moment. But that updraft is in circulation, and it's in the same environment. So we're going to have to watch this carefully here over the next few minutes. But it looks like our tornado warning storms are shifting out of Limestone County here. The first one has shifted out of Limestone County in the northern part up near Ardmore and Pinedale. There's still heavy rain and lightning and maybe small hail. That's not tornado warned at this time. That's moved over into Madison County. Down near Capshaw, that rotation is sitting on the county line. That's going to be shifting over out of Limestone into Madison, and we'll center up a little more on Limestone. That circulation there on the county line over Capshaw, that's going to be moving out of the county here probably within the next 5 minutes or so. And then at that point, it will be singularly this one back here near Cedar Grove. You see the notch on radar. There is a severe thunderstorm warning with it. Let's look at storm relative velocity and see what we have. Things are broad and weak, so mid to upper rotation, but it's not yet trying to tighten in the lower levels. Some of that may be because a little bit in this very micro scale area is rain cooled from those previous storms. Because instead of it riding the boundary that got pushed just south of this region and tapping into an air mass that didn't get hit, it's actually going over the same specific parts of land that did get hit and rain cooled earlier. So that might be what's helping keep this rotation aloft instead of trying to tighten up. But we don't want to take that for granted on a night like tonight. Severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect, so we'll have to watch that very, very carefully. But if that doesn't try to ramp up over a couple more scans, we may start to try to focus away from that. Maybe take a break if there are no further tornadic storms for a few minutes and try to rack some of this video and these pictures and these damage reports that we have. But we're going to hold it here while we still have circulation on the Limestone County line and while we need to watch that one right there.
Fred, I'll go ahead and chime in with some current conditions. We have some upper 60s and lower 70s in portions of southern middle Tennessee, but we're still holding upper 70s to lower 80s in North Alabama. And as far as dew points go, everyone's still at least in the lower 70s.
Okay. So it's still a primed environment here. And check what the low-level helicity is like for me, please.
We've got anywhere from 200 to 250.
Okay. And with how much instability we've had, that's strong enough to support a couple strong tornadoes just like we've had. So, yeah, we do have enough wind shear for this tornado threat to definitely continue here as long as we have any of these supercells. And then when the line comes in after midnight through the early morning hours, there could be some embedded spin-up type tornadoes with it. But I do think the threat of the large, long track type stuff, it's with these supercells here and any that try to develop over the next couple of hours. But we'll watch this carefully. Let's go back, look at our eastern Limestone County storm near Capshaw, please, Ben. And we'll see if that rotation is crossed over. It's still, I think we have two rotations. I think we have an older rotation near Capshaw, and I think we have a cycling rotation on the Highway 72 part of Madison right now, and that may be headed closer to Huntsville. So I know Madison County's out of the TV, out of our viewing area, but the Highway 72 part of Madison down through downtown Huntsville, UAH, Belmead, Montesano, those areas, watch that carefully. That may be cycling. But I think with that moving out now, and then the 2 or so minute delay you have with next rad, I think we're going to clear the tornado threat from these 2 storms for Limestone County. We're going to watch this back to the west for another minute or 2. And then if for another radar scanner so it doesn't try to tighten up, we may take a temporary break in coverage for a little bit and re-rack things to get some video and some pictures and things like that to show for 10 o'clock. Because we have a tornado watch in effect, we're not stopping coverage if we end this live stream here for a few minutes. As long as we have a tornado watch in place, we do live updates at the top of every hour, even when there are no warnings in place across the area. So we're not going anywhere, and we're not going to leave overnight until these storms are completely out of the area. There is still, even if this rotation is not trying to tighten up, there's still the potential for quarter-size hail with that storm near Cairo and Cartwright in western Limestone County, in addition to the potential for some 40, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. It is moving on out of Lauderdale County at this time. So while things are maybe downtrending for a very short period of time, let's do a reset. We'll hit the DMA button and hit reflectivity on HTX and just show the DMA and show where we are. These are the only severe storms we have at the moment. The tornado warning storms are shifting out of Lauderdale County. The severe thunder out of Limestone County, over into Madison County. Power outage report in Monrovia at 9:13. That's on east of the viewing area. That's with those storms. We have the severe thunderstorm warning northwest of Athens out there near Cairo and Cartwright and such, moving back toward Thatch. But that circulation so far is not trying to tighten up. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for maybe some quarter-size hail, 50, 60 mile per hour straight line winds. We have a storm we'll watch in southern Giles County, moving back through Prospect toward Elton, toward Wheelerton again, in the same areas that had that large tornado earlier. It's not severe. Its rotation is not trying to tighten up, but that can hamper some cleanup crews. We have another thunderstorm with some lightning and some heavy rain back in the southeast Lawrence County, near the Rabbittown area, Union Hill, those places. That's not severe. Some heavy showers developing back near Center Star and Killen up toward Green Hill in Lauderdale County. That's not severe. Another heavy shower not too far from Collinwood in southern Wayne County. That's not severe, but we'll watch all that very carefully. Let's take one more look at western Limestone County, and then we're going to scale back because they've just removed the tornado warning out of Limestone for that Capshaw storm. So we're going to look at our western Limestone County one more time, and if it's not trying to tighten up, we're going to scale back coverage until either a new tornado warning or until 10 o'clock. And that thing, it's not getting any tighter. It's not getting any stronger. So severe thunderstorm warning continues. It's actually ramped down a good bit. Yeah. We'll watch it, but it's ramping down. And I think it's because it's getting jumbled in here, and it's moving through rain-cooled air from directly over that last storm's position instead of riding a boundary and riding just south of where the last storm tracked. So we'll watch that carefully. Severe thunderstorm warning. In fact, the tornado threat for right now is calming down for Limestone County unless something wraps up. We're going to temporarily scale back coverage for right now, rack some video and some pictures and things that we have. Our plan is to come back live at 10 p.m., but we'll come back sooner if necessary. And you know how we do here. Should any county in the viewing area be issued a tornado warning, we'll be live nonstop until the danger is over.
Hey, real quick.
What you got?
Sarah's helping to watch some of the comments from home.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people who think that we're done after this. And we need to re-emphasize to folks, we ain't done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much, I'm not trying to be rude,
I know.
but I don't know how much more clear I can speak this in English, but we've said this multiple times that these are not our only storms. I need you to understand the words coming out of my mouth right now. we are not done. We still have that's coming after midnight through about the daybreak hours. That was the actual main round we've been expecting all along. This was that questionable afternoon, evening stuff we were watching as a just in case that actually overperformed a little bit compared to what we were thinking 2 or 3 days ago. It is not done when these move out. I'm not being rude to you, I promise, but we've said this multiple times and some of you haven't understood it yet. Your safety depends on you actually understanding it. So that's why I'm being assertive here. We are not done with this round that's over top. We still have that in Arkansas, Missouri to go. And that's going to have the potential for widespread damaging straight line winds of 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. Probably a few more spin up tornado warnings in it, maybe some hail, and it's also going to increase the flash flood threat. So please understand us. I beg you. We are not done just because this first round is shifting out. We're going to have to watch this during the overnight. Tornado watch continues until 3 a.m. for all of our Tennessee counties, until 11 p.m. for all of our Alabama counties, but it will be extended into the pre-dawn. Still have that severe thunderstorm warning for northern Limestone County. The storm is out of Lauderdale. No other severe storms in the viewing area, but we'll watch it carefully for you. Should anything ramp back up and trigger a warning, we'll be back here as necessary. If it's a tornado warning, we'll be live nonstop again. Otherwise, we're scheduled to be back live at 10 p.m. and we're going to try to show some more of this pictures, video, damage, that type of thing. For Ben Luna and Kelly Rosson, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.
Pharmacy and Gun Store, Mill Street in Pulaski.
Sutton Family Pharmacy and Gun Store.